This is Howard Chaykin, and my feeling is, if you ask me, I could write a book about the way you walk and whisper and look. What am I selling?
11 o'clock comics.
11 o'clock comics is the place to be and the time to be there.
Very strong.
Hello, folks. Thank you for joining us. This is 11 O'Clock Comics, episode 1025. I am David A. Price, and I am joined by two wonderful people. The first of which is the person who is usually almost always here with me, and that would be
Moosh the Pitbull.
No, you are not. You are, of course, Jason Wood, and we are joined by someone who has well, he's got a book coming out next week that I'm really excited about. And actually, are both books out next week, Tony?
Deathstroke's next week, Feral's in 2 weeks. So.
Okay, so yes, so Deathstroke the Terminator #1, which we will talk about, is coming out next week, and as you said, as you heard, Feral #21, which is a pretty awesome fucking issue, will be out in 2 weeks. We have, of course, joining us long time. It's been a long time. We haven't heard from him since episode 1000.
It's been a while.
None other than Mr. Tony Fleecs. Welcome back, my friend.
Hey guys, happy to be back. Thank you for having me back. I miss Vince, but I'm always happy when somebody steps away. Come hang out.
I think it's fair to say at this point we have an open relationship.
It's well past situationship. Yes, yeah.
You were just on Harper's show, which I co-sign. That's fine.
Oh no, I am a dirty little slut, if that's what you're talking about.
You do the media ropes. You do the media ropes.
He does, right? Yeah. Tony Junket
doing creator-owned books like I do, I'm always afraid that people are going to forget if I don't do a podcast for a single day. So I am.
You also go to Comics Pro, which I find fascinating. I mean, I know you're not the only creator, but I one of the things I wanted to ask you is how many creators would you say go to Comics Pro?
More lately. I always say that I go because I make books that are a little bit off kilter, like my creator own. So I always feel like it's helpful for me to go get in front of these people, remind them, how they've done with my books in the past, and then show them, like, this is this book, it's weird, here's how you sell it, here's what we're going to do to make it easier for you to sell, all that stuff. Like, rather than just try and do that in the pages of previews or whatever the fuck is previews now, like the PDF, the previews. That way I can just look somebody in the eye and go, like, here's this weird thing, here's the easy pitch, and I think we can make money together. I've found that's worked well. The times that I've done it, it's worked, and the times that I've skipped it, it's been it's been harder to keep the numbers up. So it's sort of my lucky rabbit's foot or whatever. And also it's in LA most of the time now, so that makes it very easy.
Aha.
Nice.
Yeah. But they have a good turnout. It's like there's a lot of creators in LA. It's like, not quite Portland numbers, but we have a pretty good community here, and all of those people show up, and then you get some out-of-towners. James Tynion comes out, and Matthew Rosenberg was out here, and some other out-of-towners were here. But then a lot of people showed up the next week because that was, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it, was the DC Summit was the week right after that.
Oh, you participated in the DC Summit, huh?
I was out there. Scotty was out there. There's a lot of artists out there this time, which I found very heartening. Although
you mean writer artists, yeah.
They don't count me as an artist. They kept pulling people away to go do stuff with just the artists, and I would just be like, all right, I'll just hang out here with Mark Waid, I guess. That's,
just me and Mark.
You're like, Mark, how about that Superman, huh?
Yeah. That was the best disappointment you could possibly have, is that you you don't get to go hang out with other artists, but Mark Waid is there, the best dude ever in comics.
We'll
Still
take your
never
word
been
for
on
it.
the show.
Still has, exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of this show, we are brought to you, of course,
Well, what is it?
by our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, where you can get all of your graphic novel, trade, manga, omnibus, absolute editions, whatever you're looking for. Max and the gang more than likely have it at great prices. Right now, there is a massive March Madness sale. So I went, of course, and added a couple things to my wish list. I have, and I went ahead and also ordered a couple things because, well, the Zootopia hardcover came out this week, so I had to get that for my wife. Finally pulled the trigger on Snafu. So there are a couple things coming. But aside from the March Madness, aside from the weekly new release list that Max posts along with his top 5 in your emails, there's some other specials and things we want to highlight, like Avengers No Surrender, No Road Home Omnibus hardcover for $59.99. 2 covers, one by Brooks, one by Putri. When the Earth is stolen, it triggers the end of an era for its mightiest heroes. The sky burns while mysterious cosmic objects crash down from above, wreaking havoc across the world. The Avengers are the last line of defense against the forces threatening to tear their planet apart, including Thanos' Black Order and the new Lethal Legion. Heroes will fall, icons will return, and a new hero will rise. Who is Voyager? Where has she been? And why don't you remember her? The fastest Avenger, Quicksilver, races straight out of the saga into a psychedelic survival thriller of his own, and when night falls across the universe, 7 brave heroes assemble alongside one surprising new addition on a journey to bring back the light. Collects Avengers from 2017, numbers 675 through 690, Quicksilver No Surrender, numbers 1 through 5, Avengers No Road Home, numbers 1 through 10. DC Finest, The Flash, Fastest Man Dead, trade paperback for $23.99. Barry Allen races toward his landmark 200th issue and beyond in this volume of Flash adventures from the early to mid-70s. This collection also features the first issue written by Cary Bates, who would continue to be one of Flash's longest-serving scribes. In this collection, Iris West's mysterious true origin is finally revealed, and Abracadabra sends Barry on one of his most bizarre adventures yet. Plus the return of Captain Boomerang, the Trickster, Mirror Master, the Turtle, and more. Includes World's Finest Comics numbers 198 and 199, The Flash numbers 197 through 204, 206 through 212, 215 through 229, and The Brave and the Bold number 99. And finally, Locas, the Maggie and Hopi Stories hardcover for $37.49. Jaime Hernandez is one of the most humane, graceful, and imaginatively inexhaustible artists in American popular culture. Locus tells the story of Maggie Chascarrillo, a bisexual Mexican-American woman attempting to define herself in a community rife with class, race, and gender issues. Maggie's story begins in the early 1980s Southern California rock scene, when it was shifting from the excesses of the 1970s to the gritty basics of punk and new wave. Hardcore punk rock came to the fore, and the teenage Maggie finds herself drawn to the anarchy, energy, and diversity of the scene, which in Jaime's hands becomes a very real, habitable place populated with the authentic human beings rather than stereotypes. She quickly befriends Hopi Glass, a feisty, anti-authoritarian punkette who quickly becomes Maggie's on-again, off-again lover and a constant presence in her life as they navigate a devastatingly naturalistic world. This new deluxe hardcover edition includes 3 stories that were not included in the previous edition. Those are your specials from cheapgraphicnovels.com. Now, we can talk about what we're drinking.
Well, I will. I'll start us off by saying I'm drinking some delicious blue Gatorade Zero.
Oh, nice.
Them
Good vintage.
electrolytes.
Right?
Yeah. Got to get those electrolytes up, Tom.
Yeah.
You sipping on anything tonight,
Well,
Tom?
I'm having. Yes, I am. I wanted to give it a moment to breathe. I'm having the Cape May Brewing Company Cape May White. Just a beer that has been in my crisper for God knows how long. I forgot to prepare for this, but it's a proud product of New Jersey. So
Oh, respect. Garden State represent. Nice.
that's right. Just for you, on purpose.
My man.
Aw.
Respect it. You having some pork roll? Little pork roll sandwich?
Having a whole Jersey demon.
Some tasty cakes to wash it down, maybe?
Good
Yeah,
Lord.
tastes good with the mustard.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I am I'm continuing from last week, having some of the bread and butter read, which is very, very tasty. So, what have we been reading? Or actually, what have you been writing, Tony?
Oh,
Well,
man.
wait. Hold
Okay.
on.
Okay. All right. All right. All
We're
right.
going to let Tony do his thing, but this is there's too much cosmic continuity wrapped in weirdness for what I'm about to talk about that we have to lead with it because it's fascinating,
Love it.
and I think Tony will be both equally fascinated and may have some tidbits to add to it. I don't know if he does actually, but we'll see. But our beloved sponsor Max, right? He
Yeah.
sent me a package, but not a package from Few Graphic Novels of something I ordered. He sent me a package, and I opened up said package, and it's not like a normal cheap graphic novels box where it's Wumba big box, and you got all the omniboo up in there, the slip cases up in there. It was like an envelope. So I thought, well, this is interesting. I opened it up, and there's a little note and said, "Hey, Wood was good. I don't know if if you're familiar with this, but I was at Comics Pro, and as was Jim Rugg, and Jim Rugg was giving these away, so I grabbed one for you." And I'm like, "Oh, how lovely!" So I opened up the package, and there is a foil sealed comic book in there, like sealed up like like old school foil, like a trading cards. And the comic is called Friends, all one word, VeeFriends, issue 11. Now, I immediately knew what this was, sort of, because when we were all three of us on the call, when we were all at Baltimore, Mr. Rugg was also at Baltimore.
Yes.
And as I'm wont to do, I was catching up with Jim at the con, seeing how his life's going and everything. And he surprised me at the con by saying, "Yeah, believe it or not, I took a new job." Now, we've known Jim for almost 20 years. I have no idea if he's ever had a shoot job. I've only known him as a comic book creator. I presume though, because at least for a long portion of that period, he wasn't selling millions of copies. I assumed he always had some kind of other job, in graphic design or something. But I never really knew what he did. But he's like, "Yeah, I took a new job." And I'm like, "Oh, wow, excellent. What's the job?" And he says, "Hey, you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is?" Now, being a Northeasterner, I in fact do know who Gary Vaynerchuk is. Now, I don't know how many of our would you presume most of our listeners know who Gary V is? I honestly have no idea how famous he is, like in general.
This is the only context I know about him in.
Okay, so there you go. So Gary Vaynerchuk is a Gary. I guess he's probably. It's fair to say these days he's an influencer because he's like online and he's always making tons of content about how to be successful and be entrepreneurial and get rich. But his roots are he was a kind of a self-starter guy, and he created a bunch of businesses. Most notably, he created a huge wine business, and made hundreds of millions of dollars selling online wine. He was like one of the first people ever to do online wine selling, and so he got super rich from that. And then he parlayed that, like I said, into becoming an influencer and becoming a venture capitalist and investing in a million things and trying lots of other ways to get wealthy. I presume many have worked, many have not. But he's like always online, and and I mentioned the East Coast because he's a New York guy. He's always said it's his dream to like be an owner or part owner of the New York Jets. Like he's just a local guy. But anyway, so Jim says, "Do you know who Gary V is?" And of course I'm like, "Well, in fact I do. But why do you ask?" Because I'm thinking, what the fuck is Jim Rugg going to be doing working for a dude who owns a bunch of tech businesses and a wine business? And Jim says, "Yeah, well, Gary's got his own world of IP that he's created, and he's hired me to be the creative director. Or actually, I'm sorry, the creative producer." And I'm like, okay. I'm like, tell me, what does a creative producer do? And Jim said, "I'll let you know. I just started." He said, "I literally was in New York this weekend meeting with Gary and the other executives of the company, and I agreed to take the job." He's like, "But basically, Gary's got this IP universe, and he wants to make movies and TV shows and cartoons and comics, and he's going to have me head up the creative process." And I was like, "Oh, well, Mazel tov, man. Like, sounds great." And I'm sitting there just thinking, all right, well, our boy Jim's taking the bag from a corporate dude. Like, he's got a corporate sugar daddy now. He's taking the bag. more power to him. And honestly, I hadn't thought about that conversation since Baltimore. Well, then I open up this package from Max, and I see foil sealed VeeFriends number 11. So I'm like, okay, it's all coming back to me. So my first thought was like, number 11? Like, right. where the fuck were number 1 through 10? so what's that?
Did they sneak out? Do they exist?
Yeah. I'm like, are these? Because I'm like, we know a little bit about comics, and I'm like, I do a monthly previews deep dive, and I don't know that I've ever seen it solicited. But hey, maybe I just missed it. So I opened up I broke the cardinal rule. I opened up the foil package and potentially ruined the value of it, I guess. But I opened it up, and inside was in fact a comic, which I'm holding in my hands, VeeFriends number 11, and it says on the cover, "The first appearance: adaptable alien versus adventurous astronaut." Ooh. And the creators are listed as Gary Vaynerchuk, Jim Rugg, Ben Perkins, and Chris Faison. So I open up the issue, and sure enough, it says VeeFriends, issue number 11, Adventurous Astronaut and Adaptable Alien. Created by Gary Vaynerchuk. Plot by Gary Vaynerchuk. Script. Go ahead.
Did you say Chris Faison?
I did.
That's Superhero Happy Hour. That's so cool.
Okay.
Remember that?
There we go. Oh, yeah.
Sorry for interrupting. I know you're on a roll.
It's all good. It's all good. Plot by Gary Vaynerchuk. Script by Jim Rugg. Art by Ben Perkins. And colors by Chris Faison. So now I don't know if it's the same guy, Tone, because it's Fason. I don't know if Faison spells his name differently.
Yeah, that's him.
But okay, cool. And it is a comic. It is in fact a comic book, and in fact is a comic book featuring characters that I've come to know are named Adaptable Alien and Adventurous Astronaut. Now where to go from here? I am mystified at this whole experience. Okay, it is very much a all ages book, right? The art by Ben Perkins is, how do I describe it? It is the same art, like, listeners, if you've ever picked up a all ages comic book or bought a illustrated all ages book for like your middle school to elementary school children, and you picture what the people and characters and art look like in those books, that's what this looks like. Completely inoffensive, like a professional did it, but like superbly benign and uninteresting in all other ways, right? Like figure work is fine. Like nobody's losing, nobody's like going to hell for the effort, but like there's nothing engaging about it in terms of layout or character design or like panel layout, right? Or pacing. It's just like images to convey a story to presumably, I think, younger people. Now, again, the book pitches itself as all ages. I think it's more like a children's book. So I read it and I was like, okay, this is fascinating. So I'm like, I got to figure out more what's going on with this. Like, what's up with this VeeFriends? So VeeFriends was created by Vaynerchuk in 2021. And like it started off, and this is not going to surprise you, it started off as NFTs. Remember those beautiful NFTs? Yeah. So Gary decided to create his own IP world of 280 some characters, and make a digital content universe with them. And he started with an NFT launch, and I believe the original pitch was 283 unique characters, each hand drawn by Vaynerchuk, and and he's not an artist, folks. Like these are the hand drawns were not. So here's what I never would have guessed. This motherfucker did these hand drawn NFTs back in 2021 when NFTs were hot for that like 1 year period. He fucking sold these NFTs for $90 million.
Jesus Christ.
Which makes me want to just jump right out the window and not tell you the rest of the story, because
I'm looking at these original ones.
I mean, this dude was already super rich, and no doubt because of that parlayed his perception of being this, moneymaker into getting people to buy these NFTs, and he sold these fuckers for $90 million. Now, to no surprise, they have lost about 98% of their value. So to any of you schlubs listening that bought one of these things in 2021, I feel sorry for you because you lost 98 cents on your dollar. But Gary kept the 90. He gets to keep the 90. That's the best part of it. He gets to keep the 90. So apparently he parlayed that 90 into, well, okay, the NFTs aren't working per se, but I love the characters and I'm going to create this universe. And now the universe has trading cards. It has comic books. It has a video game that's in development, as I understand it. They've had 2 conventions around this stuff. And I still have to ask you, I had never heard of this outside of these 2 interactions. I can find no evidence that any store sells them, that any online retailer pushes them. I did go to eBay and look, and there are trading cards, and the comics have been flipped on there for like $20, $30, like $150 for like the one of one, like gold variant, whatever's, or but like, nothing crazy, and I'm just completely, absolutely mesmerized at the entire process here. Like I can't believe that this pocket universe of content exists where some extremely small number of people are trying to speculate in it, and I guess the conclusion is, I hope Jim is getting a really, really big check for however long it lasts, and presumably it'll last for a long time because Gary V's obviously got all the money in the world. So there you have it. VeeFriends. It's my foray. So thank you, Max, for creating great content for the show. I really very much appreciate you sending me this comic book.
I saw he gave me. Did he give you a little mini comic in Baltimore? He gave me like a little like Chick Track size VeeFriends thing in Baltimore, but I didn't even know about the NFT part of it. Then I didn't know what to make of it. I was just like, Jim's really on one. Whatever. I hope he's getting rich.
Yeah, no, I didn't know about the. Like I said, I didn't. No, he didn't give me the mini comic. I should also mention that after Vanderchuk made the 90 million on the NFTs, because of course, why stop there? He pitched VeeFriends to Andreessen Horowitz, which I know isn't going to mean anything to most of our listeners, but Andreessen Horowitz is far and away the most successful venture capital firm in the world. They are the kings of venture capital. They have been the initial investors and founders in like pretty much every household big tech company you've ever heard of. They are like the kings of the industry. Like both Andreessen and Horowitz, the founders, are each worth probably $20-30 billion each. Like
I remember one of those names from the Social Network movie.
Oh, okay, yeah. When they found it, when they give money to a company, it's pretty much their kingmakers. Well, I am equally bewildered to have found out today, while I was getting ready to talk about this, that after Gary sold 90 million of NFTs, he promptly went to Andreessen Horowitz and they cut him a $50 million check to invest in the company. So, like, I just am doing something wrong, guys. Like, I don't know. I have gone about my life in the wrong way. I don't know. Like, I should have been building up my social graph and not worrying about like actually having to understand and value businesses and like real executives about their business processes. Because like, if I had just created some hand drawn fucking things, but had a really strong YouTube presence, we could be flying private jets to Heroes Con. I don't know. It's something, boys.
Just with pocketfuls of cartoon animals that I could have been selling to Andreessen Horowitz. I had no idea that was even an option. I've been going through fucking comic book stores like an imbecile.
Yes. So there you have it. I am absolutely just fascinated that this whole thing exists. Like, it's incredible. So,
God bless.
That's wonderful.
Now we can talk about real, honest comics that we can buy in stores for real.
Which cover was under the foil?
Oh, I got gypped. I got the basic cover.
Oh, okay, by Ben.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, by Ben.
All right.
It's cool that Jim's working for them. I was flipping through the other VeeFriends books. I saw Chris Faison in there getting work. He colors some and he draws some. It looks like they're just kicking the jobs around to some cartoonists. DJ Kaufman, I remember him from back in the day too.
Yep.
All kinds of comic stuff.
He's the chief creative officer. He's like I think he's Jim's boss actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Does this feel like a continuing story, or was it like a done in one?
This was a done in one. It was like introducing the two characters. Yeah. Let me see.
I'd hate for you to be lost, reading the 11th issue and not knowing what happened in the previous 10. And you have to try to find the trades. Okay, I'm glad.
I was able to follow along well enough.
Good.
Let's see. Yeah, I already moved away from the pitch here. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. I'm sure I can find it in my history. It's like I don't like. Again, I don't know if Gary Vee was like a big time comic book nerd, and he just maybe he was. I don't know. So here we go. It says uh, where is this here? Oh, I don't know. I can't find it now. I had found
No.
the site about what happened. Yeah, but anyway, yeah.
I would imagine that Gary would be, based on, because you said that he was also doing something with Liefeld, or was planning on it.
No, I think life. No, what that was at this dinner in New York where he agreed to take the job. Liefeld was there too.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Because of course he was. Because why wouldn't Rob be involved with this too? So I mean, of course. So it's like when when everyone found out that Ja Rule was one of the co-founders of Firefest. It's like, of course, why wouldn't he be? Right?
Why
I mean,
wouldn't
it's
it
just
be? Yeah.
you
It
know,
absolutely makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's like all of these things all make perfect sense together because the world is strange. And
I think I'm happy with my circle.
here we go, Dap. VeeFriends is an entertainment company dedicated to creating a better world through its universe of more than 350 characters. VeeFriends combines storytelling, content, collectibles, and fan-driven experiences to ignite self-discovery. Each VeeFriends character connects differently with people, reflecting their likes, passions, memories, and aspirations. This unique and individual connection is the magic of VeeFriends and its characters. By sharing the values and messages of its characters, VeeFriends inspires deeper bonds, spreads joy, and empowers individuals to be their best selves. It's a lovely mission statement. I mean, I can't be mad at that, but so
Dag.
yeah.
Well,
All right.
What else, fellas?
Yeah.
I left y'all speechless.
How can we move on from
what
that?
else?
where do you go from here?
Oh man. What
How
did
about we
do?
talk Deathstroke, your big DC mainstream debut?
Let's go. That I have more to say about than VeeFriends number 11. Deathstroke.
I must also ask you another process question before you talk about the book. Why you were kind enough to share a review copy so we could talk about the book in earnest, which is great.
Wow.
Why did said book have no cover?
Oh, it was the lettering proof that they were sending around at the last. It was
Got it.
that's
Okay.
like process stuff, not the review
Gotcha.
copy that we'd send out to. You guys are in the inner circle. You're getting the
Nice. I feel so special.
I would love to see. I'm gonna have to wait. Obviously, I would love to see your variant cover. Are you continuing the movie motif, or are you doing something else?
Oh no, I did a variant cover. It's online. You can look it up. It's just a straight. I think they're printing it without a logo. It's just a very colorful
virgin.
Deathstroke pointing at the reader.
Okay.
Yeah, I just did up a Deathstroke. I did my most Deathstroke-y possible Deathstroke.
Oh, it's a 1 in 25 variant. Look at you.
Yeah, hard to get a hold of. I will get a couple because I drew it, but I don't know how many. I mean, I think there should be some out there. We sold a ton of this book, so the 1 in 25.
I mean, I guess the stores are selling it for $25.
That's what they do with the 1 in 25. I was just talking
Yeah.
to Steve from Third today, and he said that's how 1 in 25s work. You just sell them.
1 in 25s are $25. There you go.
Standard procedure. But yeah, Deathstroke. I wrote a DC comic. I'm currently writing a DC comic. After we finish up here, I'm going to go back to writing a DC comic.
Good.
Yeah, it's been my whole my whole job for the past few months.
And
It's
for full transparency, Jason and I, we were aware of this back in October.
Yes. That's true.
And without wrecking any future work for Tony. He didn't give us any secrets. He didn't tell us what was going on, but he was just like, I'm writing because Tony yelled at me because this was announced prior to Baltimore, but I had missed that news.
Yeah.
Because we got the first wave of the next level of DC's All In 2.0 and the next batch of books that were coming out, but I did not see. I knew about Scotty and Lobo, but I didn't know that we were getting a Deathstroke book, which Deathstroke is one of my favorite DC characters, but that Tony is fucking writing it, which is great for me. But So we knew that weekend, as the rest of the world did, obviously. But because Deathstroke is a favorite of mine, I've read good and not so good Deathstroke stories in the past. So I wasn't worried. I didn't think Slade was in.
You thought he would fuck it up. You
Hands.
can admit it. You thought
No. I knew. Because if he did, I would have told him. I absolutely said, yeah, that don't sound right. But no, I was optimistic, and I was looking forward to it because I don't know, and this is probably my first question. I don't know how much Deathstroke you know, Tony. I don't know if you've loved this character since the early 80s from Teen Titans #2, or if you kind of just dug him in the 90s or later, or what is your relationship with Deathstroke?
Well, I was a Marvel kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, because you know what was up.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I wasn't aware of him in Teen Titans. I did become aware of him in the 90s. The Wolfman book was out and was sort of like one of the cooler looking DC books at the time. He always looked, like that was around when I loved Image Comics, and he always looked like the most Image, Lobo notwithstanding, the most Image DC comic. Like he had the big guns.
Yeah, for sure.
Those Mike Zeck covers helped.
Yeah, no doubt. But then you're gonna hate me for this, but it wasn't until like Identity Crisis that I was like, oh, this guy's a guy. This guy's real serious. But and then that's around probably after. Does it come before or after the fight with the Teen Titans where he shot Robin in the knee, or Impulse in the knee? That was around there too. He just sort of became the guy that you're just like, oh, he's.
I'm pretty sure Shooting Impulse came before Identity Crisis.
Yeah, because that was the Johns stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like the guy in DC Comics. You're like, this guy is not messing around. He's serious business. So then, I wasn't like a lifetime Deathstroke devotee, but they talked to me about doing it, and so I went back and did the reading. And now I was a fan, and now I'm a big fan, and sort of also excited about taking him in a direction that I feel like he hasn't quite been yet. Is that okay? Did I do that okay?
That's fine. Thank you.
The is, of course, I was reading him, and when he showed up, hanging on. Well,
I know you're not that old, bro. I didn't think you.
I should have texted you and told you that you should have read the Who's Who entries before you came on to that, so that the app was going to test you your bona fides, see if you're actually qualified to write the character. But
I have the Who's Who, the bound edition. But when I was like, they'll never put this in an omnibus. I got all my Who's Who's bound together.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Yeah. Well, I want to tell you what I think of the book, but I feel because of Dap's love for the character, I should let him.
No. By all means, please go.
Oh no. Okay. I loved it. I love the issue. Now I am in no way nearly as Deathstroke certified as Dap. So much like you, Tone. I mean, as you know, I was also a Marvel nut for the first 20 plus years of my fandom. So my Deathstroke is pretty much limited to a much later modern day read of the Titans Paris stuff. The Wolfman Paris Titans, and then like you said, the more modern stuff. So I mean, I feel like I've read a decent number of Deathstroke issues, over the last 15-ish years, but yeah, he's not a sacred cow to me or anything like that, but I do think he's a badass character. First of all, how fortunate are you in your artistic partner?
Boy.
Because I would imagine you, like, because it's DC, I assume like you didn't pick him, right? Like you were saying, like they were like you were going to work, like it's like you had no say in the matter. Like it's kind of like luck of the draw a bit, right?
It was a discussion. They sort of we were going back and forth with like who should it be and who do you think would do a good job on this? And I so even though this was going to be a big launch, I think it was a leap of faith for Carmine. Like they went to some people, and I think me not having a DC track record, you know, some of these guys that draw that they're geniuses at drawing DC comics are not familiar with Image Comics.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
Carmine
Yeah,
sort
we
of
should actually mention it's you said Carmine, I said Carmine, but it's Carmine di Giandomenico is the artist.
Yeah. Yeah,
But I think it looks incredible. I mean, I'm sure I've read many comics by him, but I can't like offhand think of like what I know him from. Like I assume he's just done lots of big two books for years and years. Yeah, again, like I said, I'm sure I've read many issues, but like I can't to me, he doesn't have a signature book in my mind. He may have a signature book. I'm just not like offhand. I couldn't think of it. But so I didn't even like opening the pages or I guess reading the file since you sent us a digital. But I didn't know what to expect. And that opening double page spread of him on the top of the roof, in the cityscape, I was like, oh, okay, we're in good hands. I mean, it is a fucking hyper detailed, dude. Like, I was like, okay, I was like, this is not. They didn't do Tony. They didn't do Tony wrong. They did him right. Like, this is a guy who's putting in the work. And like it's interesting because and then the next page is you see one of the panels is a display of different weapons and I would imagine Carmine is very like he's like all of the weapons. Now I'm not a weapons expert, but they look very technically accurate, right? Like they look like he looked up how to draw these weapons, like the specs on them and stuff. So like hyper detailed, super cool costume design. And I loved it, man. Now again, I wouldn't know whether or not like how much you knew the character beforehand, but you jump. I think you do us right by jumping right in to the action, and and you also, of course, I think smartly give us his two most important characters in the opening page, right? His daughter and his best friend. And so I'm saying like you set the tone is my point. Like if people are coming in being like, well, I don't know what this Fleece like. Who the hell is this guy? Is he going to be up to snuff? Like, I think you smartly, like, you present your bona fides, you lay them out like in those first 4 pages. You know what I mean? You're like, all right, his two most important people, him in a badass look, and then badass weaponry, and it's like, all right, well, that's these are like the key tenets of at least establishing you understand the character, right? And then it's like, well, what are you going to do to make him distinctive? Because in this world, it's like hyper competitive to make, and I'd say at best we call Deathstroke a B list character, right? Because like, A list we leave for like, Justice Leaguers and stuff. But he's not a C lister. He's a well established villain who has often had his own series and or miniseries. So he's definitely like, right. He's sort of a high level character. So there's been a lot of Deathstroke stories, and you basically, we don't want to get too spoilery because the book's not even out yet, but you basically set up a conceit where a dude that's used to effectively winning and being the best at what he does at all times is gets his ass shown. He gets shown his ass. He's gonna be up. He's in for quite an ordeal. It seems like. Yeah. I'm trying to be vague here because I don't know how much you want to or allowed to get into specifics, but I was gripped. Like I said, I think the art is fucking stunning. I don't know if the ladies that he fights are. I don't know if you made them up or if they're existing DC characters. I presume you did not make them up. Did you make them up?
I did not make them up. No.
Okay. But they were cool. And I like the key to a first issue, right, is giving a hook that makes you die to get back to read the second issue, and I think you accomplished that. I can't wait to see the second issue. So
beautiful.
So yeah. So now I don't know if now Dat may tell you he thought it was whack, but I wanted to tell you I enjoyed it.
This is the part where Dap's like, nothing of Deathstroke.
Exactly. He's like,
I'm glad you got the praise early.
But I'm gonna let you finish. But
I'm happy.
Good.
I'm not stressed. I'm not worried about nothing. I'm pissed, and there's the reasons for that. And when people read the first issue, they'll realize why. But you said everything as Jason alluded to. You we're hit with his supporting cast. We see him in action. You were smart enough to you gave us his origin, and I'm doing it in air quotes because it's only a matter of a couple of panels, and they're basically flashback background images, but it's still, it works. It fits. Everybody knows who his son was, his sons were, and what happened to them. Well, I don't want to say everybody knows, but it's hinted at here. The super soldier serum that Jay injected in him. You referenced that. There's a lot here that I think will please any OG, old school, old head Deathstroke fans. There's, I don't know if you have plans to go into him being a. I mean, it is topical and very timely these days to throw
I do not have plans for what you're about to talk about.
Okay, good enough. I appreciate that.
In between the panels, that's the sort of thing. It's under. I always think about it when I'm writing this character, but it's not. It's in the subtext. It's not in the text because I'm not.
It doesn't define him. Perfect.
I would like to open my email inbox without seeing horrifying images.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Thank you. It's a great hook because I know you were. I'm not going to say teasing. You kind of gave us an indication of. You told us the direction you were planning on going in, and that obviously isn't what's happening here. It's a very it's action packed. It's I mean, set in at least Slade's real world. There's. You've got the firepower, you've got the shooting, you've got all the weapons. It's a Deathstroke comic, and that's exactly it's not a couple of people. I mean, aside from the first page, it's not a couple of people just sitting around a table talking and sharing their feelings. It's a Deathstroke comic. This is Slade Wilson basically at his best. Although I don't know how much longer he'll be at his best. It's you definitely. Yeah, I don't know what I like about this is that I don't know where we go from here, and that gives me the tingles. I really do think that this is different enough. You're not rifling through Wolfman's file cabinet to look for some script that he may not have finished or bothered with. You didn't pick up the baton from Priest and build on that. You didn't look at Tony Daniel's story, or at least not that I can tell. So there's a lot here. I'm happy about. I'm excited about. I'm looking forward to. And yes, it absolutely looks great. I mean, his art is fantastic. He did a couple of I'm not gonna call them fill-in issues. He handled an arc on Absolute Superman. After the first year, he's done a bunch of Amazing Spider-Man years ago for Marvel. He does do. He may have done. He may have done some Suicide Squad over the years, but yeah, he has between the big two. It's almost like he's a utility player. He basically when you need somebody to kind of just carry on so that that nothing gets missed. No issues get bumped. He's good at that. But I mean, here for Deathstroke, kicking off a first issue. It looks great. I love the look of Deathstroke. I think he nails everybody, whether it's Wintergreen, whether it's Slade without the mask, and even and getting back to you, the conversations that Slade has with his earpiece with Wintergreen, and it's a very familiar conversation. You have them playing off each other the way Marv wrote them and pretty much everybody sent. So it's a great issue. I think he did a fantastic job.
Thank you. Carmine, I recognize him like when they put his name out there. The first thing I thought of was Battle and Jack Murdoch at Marvel.
Yes,
which is like 20 years ago now. But I went back and looked at it, and he wrote that, he drew it, he colored it, he did everything.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and so I was sort of like, I wanted to work with somebody who was another writer artist because I feel like they were asking for like the absolute ethos in the regular DC universe was basically like marching orders for this thing. Do like an Absolute comic is sort of like making a creator-owned version of a superhero. You know, like to take Batman that already exists and do whatever you would do at Image or at Dark Horse or whatever. So that was sort of obviously a lot more, not as brand new. Like this is the Slade that Priest left off with, and that Williamson had in Deathstroke Inc. And like it's still that same guy, but we're taking him in a basically new #1. Jump right in. You never have to have read a Deathstroke comic before in your life, and we'll give you all the backstory that you need. There's flashbacks in this, and there will be more. As it goes on, we're filling in the back. That's sort of how I like to write anyway. Like that's Stray Dogs had that. Local Man has that. Like we'll tell you the story, and when you need to know something that happened before, we're not going to give you like an editor's note. We'll show you just a little clip of something. But yeah, Carmine, I saw him on that Battle of Jack Murdoch, and it feels like really European. I mean, he's Italian, but the book feels just like the colors in it and the characters, and he's so fast. And he does
he's our age. He's 52 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh shit.
He's been around.
Yeah,
I follow him on Instagram, obviously, and every day he'll turn in Deathstroke pages, and then he'll also post up pages of this like creator-owned thing that he's working on, where he's just making, it's like a relationship comic or like a comic about people. So I see him doing that stuff too, and I'm like, I do want to do one that's just a whole issue of people sitting around a table talking to each other. I want to be able to use that part of him too. But like you said, he's sort of been a gun for hire, a hand for a little while, and I was very excited about, especially because this is a solo comic. It's like it's not a team comic. It's just about this one guy. I mean, obviously he has other characters that he's fighting or teaming up with or whatever, but to be able to give him sort of like a canvas to really go crazy on has been sort of one of my main goals in this thing. It's just like this comic will be good if I let him be good, and he's great, and he can do 6 issues in a row, no problem, maybe 7, and then we're gonna have a fill-in, and then he'll come back for the to do the next 6. I think is the plan. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Very
So at the DC Creative Retreat,
Yeah.
do you present like does your editor present like this issue? Or do they say, all right, we got this new guy to the team, Tony? Do they make you go up to in front of the room in front of all these people and pitch this, or I assume it was already written by them? Like, do they? Have they read the issue? Like, or do you get solicited or unsolicited feedback at this thing about what they thought of the? Like, I'm just curious. Like, what is the vibe like, especially as a noob? Are you shitting your pants? Are you just excited? Like, how you feeling?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely shitting my pants. I mean, I've been making comics, in licensed children's comics and creator-owned stuff. But the whole time I'm doing that, while I'm drawing comics, I'm listening to podcasts and I'm hearing about, this creative retreat and this summit and stuff. So I sort of had an idea of what it was going to be. I was very nervous, like I was in the same room as Jim Lee on several occasions as like someone who works together. Like that's fucked up for me. That's not okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, it's sort of like a writer's room. And I wrote on, you guys know I wrote on the Netflix My Little Pony show a few years ago. So I have, I've worked in writer's room, and it is just like a collaborative. Like you go in, people are saying what their story is. You throw ideas out if they're looking for that, or if it's already finished, you just go like, oh, cool, I could use this little thing they're talking about, or like stuff is out there in the air. It was cool. There was different rooms for different groups. And I was in the room that was like Scotty and Josh Williamson and Mark Waid, like I said. Tom King was in there. So it was a lot of people that I already knew. So that made it easier to not be super freaked out. But just like the structure of it was pretty freaked. Honestly, having Scotty there was made it very comfortable for me because that's my buddy, and it was also his first DC thing. So, and people are looking at him more than they're looking at me. Like they're just like, there's Scotty Young, it's his first DC thing, and I can just sort of like hang out until it's time for me to say what my story is about.
Yeah, that's weird, right? That's funny you bring that up because it's like Scotty fills a room, needless to say, and we've been hearing about to your point, like we've been hearing him talk about these treats on when he's come on our podcast for a decade plus, but that was his first DC one. But I imagine he comes in and he's like, yes, I'm here. You can be excited by that. Like, it's not, like he's not like, oh man, I want to fit in. He's like, yeah, bitches, I'm here now. Like, get ready. You know, right? Like that's his energy. I feel
It's out
like.
that Lee is there at all. He's feels totally normal about that.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool.
Um,
Was there anybody like I mean, Jim, I guess would be all of your bosses, right? Like technically, right? Like,
Yeah.
well, I guess not technically, actually, your boss, but like, do you view like I don't? I'm sorry, offhand, I don't know who your editor is in this, but like, do you consider when you work for the big two, like your editor your boss, or do you consider him a colleague? Like, what is the vibe there? Like,
it's a little bit in between. It's like a colleague who could fire you if you're too late.
okay, so he's your boss, but it's
Yeah.
colloquial. You're not like
Yes,
you're not.
it's
Yeah,
a it's a like a mutual respect thing. Like they've hired me because it's not like I was like, please give me a job. Like they came to me
hmm
because they like what I do. So we're operating on like a level of mutual respect, I think, more than
right.
any job I had back when I had jobs.
And do you just sit tight in being it's your first one in your first book and kind of just go with the flow, or are you in there working the magic, being like, hey, I have capacity. Like, you have any other ideas for me? Like how is there an etiquette? Like, do the OGs like Tom and Scotty who have been through the ringer like give you pointers on like, all right, man, like this one you just want to sit tight, and then in 6 months you come in strong and be like, yo, I have this idea, this idea. Like, did you get any pointers? Did you enact on any of that?
Um, no, I mean I'm usually pretty well. First of all, I'm busy, so like I'm not
So
going
you're
in
not
there.
looking for okay, you're not looking to like right, okay,
Yeah, I'm
gotcha.
not like looking for another job necessarily, but I think it was fortunate that I had been in writers' rooms before, so I'm in there and I sort of know how to play it. Like you don't interrupt people. You don't say no to stuff. You yes and stuff. You don't say that's stupid. You go, what about this? What about Uh, so I feel like I acquitted myself pretty well. My editor Brittany and Marquise and Paul, they all, they felt they were like, you did good in there. So that that's a funny thing to say to like a 46-year-old man, Good job,
You done good, kid.
buddy.
You done good, yeah.
But yeah, it went pretty well. I was excited about it. And it's just a fun, like it was here, just like Comics Pro was here in my town. It's in Burbank. And but I went and stayed at the same hotel because I was like, well, I want to be a part of I don't want to have to
Yeah.
go at the end of the night while people are hanging out.
Who'd you
So yeah,
chop it up with? Who'd you go to dinner with? Come on, spill the tea.
let's see. We went out with everybody. Sort of went to dinner
Oh,
together.
it was a little group thing. Okay.
Yeah. So Scotty was there a bunch. Jason was around. Jason Aaron, Scott Snyder was there. Fraction and um, Greg Rucka was there. Greg Rucka gave me a cigarette, which I don't smoke anymore. But we had a very rich steak dinner, and so I had to
Very
have a
nice.
after dinner, which
Oh,
was
you had one. Interesting.
very surreal for me. Again, like that, out of everything, like having a cigarette with Greg Rucka felt like, holy shit, I make comic books.
That's
This is crazy.
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the names you're throwing out there, it's like heavy hitters, every one of them.
yeah.
Like
And Wade's there. Wade is like the best collaborator you've ever met. Also, Dan Slott Dan Slott and Sophie and Ryan North were there on video. I think I'm telling way too more than I'm supposed to say.
no, bro, come on. What?
But they're collaborating in a different way. Like, they're pitching out ideas, but Dan's got cool ideas too. Even though it's harder to get a word in edgewise from on the Zoom. You know how meetings go.
Right.
But Wade, like, people would just be having ideas, and he could have a whole thing going in his book, and he would just be like, "Oh, I can do that instead if that helps you out." Like he's so
Love
generous
that.
and collaborative because he's been doing it for 40 plus years. Like he's just like,
And
"Oh, I
his
can."
mind is, I mean, he's like we use terms like genius a lot, but like he's an actual genius. I think like he's like, I mean, I'm sure we've all heard Wade's like he's done so many interviews. Like he skipped 2 grades. He's like a legit like super smart human being. Like just who happened to decide instead of like creating Google or becoming a trillionaire hedge fund manager, he decided I'm going to use that intelligence to know everything about superhero comics ever, which is great for us. Probably not great for
Yeah.
his retirement, but great for us though.
Having a Kingdom Come, I think, helps out your retirement.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sure he's fine. Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
he's
Always
fine.
getting texts. I asked him about that too. That was I don't think that's off the record, but I was like, "Can you make money on these pocket Kingdom Comes? Like, how do you make money on a $10 margin?" He was like, "I didn't think I would, but son of a bitch."
Sure you go.
So good for him.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that dude. But he's very generous with ideas, and like everybody, like every great writer that was there was just like that. Mark Waid's incredible, you know. Like it's and the other thing is he keeps up. Like he reads new comics, which a lot of
Yeah.
don't, and I think that keeps
Like
him.
Scotty. Scotty doesn't read comics anymore or listen to podcasts. Bastard.
He'll never hear this, but Jason does too. Like Jason reads new comics. He keeps up. You know, like these guys that are sort of looking to run their career for longer because careers do run longer now. You know, like nobody's doing a 40-year stretch like Mark is, but you know, it used to be the period where somebody was happening for was, you know, 10 years, and it seems like people are doing
Yeah.
it for like 20 years at least.
Dude, I mean, you've heard me say this before because you listen to the show, but like Mark Waid's tenure is unparalleled.
Oh, it's incredible.
Like, no matter what, you like, you know, and again, I think like, I don't think he's on many people's Mount Rushmore when you do that whole game, right? Because like, generally we limit that to people that have like the highest of highs, right? Like, you know, Alan Moore and Watchmen, et cetera, to Frank Miller. But like, but I always say, but like, if you're just being objective about a career, like, no one's had a better Waid. Like, in terms of like, like an actual career, like, because like you said, he's done high level, high quality comic books for 4 decades. Like he has not had a fall off. Like he hasn't had a fall off in his ability, like in that to your point, like that people still want to hire him, but also he still writes really good comics. Like, you know, I mean, and again, I'm not throwing shade here, but there are so many people that would be considered his peers and contemporaries who were prominent when he first became prominent. And you know, what do we like? We see them and they're like when you see their name. And again, I'm not going to name because I don't want to be negative,
We
but
all
like,
know.
yeah, you see their names, and you're I don't even want to read it because I know what it's going to be like, and it's going to feel old and dated, and it's almost like they're throwing them a bone because they want him to eat, which is cool, but I don't really. But with Waid, it's like he's still writing some of the most important comics at DC. You know,
Yeah, you see his name, you know you're in good hands. You know it's going to be good.
yeah,
And
that's awesome, brother. I'm happy for you, man. Like I mean, I love that you're in a place where you could do this, but then also like. Low key stunt right there. You're like, well, I'm not really looking for work. I was like, oh, look at you. Okay, that's true. You got your own thing going on. You don't need to be pitching a fucking Plastic Man miniseries next to you. You're good.
Nobody's like Scotty at that thing is just like, I'm losing money by being here.
I bet. Yeah.
Well, of course that is such a Scotty thing to say. Of course.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
Are you doing the Keith Giffen, or I'm sorry, the Stray Dogs Feral route with doing layouts, or are you just straight writing this and letting Carmine do whatever he wants? What's the collaboration like between you two?
Yeah, thank goodness I don't have to lay out anything for Carmine. I'm doing way too many layouts. This is the point in, you know, I look up to Brian Bendis. He did layouts for like the first few issues at Marvel.
Yeah.
And I've been doing layouts for Feral for this whole, you know, working on issue 23 now, and Stray Dogs, and then I'm laying out this other thing that I'm doing later this year from Image. So yeah, I for somebody who doesn't draw anymore, I constantly am drawing.
Yeah.
But luckily, Carmine, he doesn't need too much help. The cool thing is like at first working on like the Thing and like all my big two stuff, I was hesitant to send. Like I never do a draw over like fix this or what like that, but everybody now knows that I know how to draw or that I've, you know, laid out comics in my life. So sometimes it is easier just to do a little sketch on a napkin and send that over rather than try and explain it in paragraphs of text. And everybody seems pretty okay with that. Although it could just be that it's lost in translation. And when he says like, fuck
Sure.
you can't draw anywhere near as good as me, it shows up like, good, thumbs up. But yeah, I don't do anything for him. He knows what's going on.
Are we?
Nice.
Is the sword going to return, or is that gone?
Oh, there's going to be swords.
Okay.
Don't. There will be.
I knew there was a but from Dap. I was waiting for the but there we go. Now there's the but there. You can have this.
Oh, because as I'm flipping through it again, I'm like, "Where's the fucking sword? I don't see a sword." I keep going through. I'm going through like every panel. I'm like, "No, there's no sword here."
Tony, were you listening to his entire review and thinking, "There's a but there"? He just doesn't want to give it to me.
There is no but. I just asked. It was a simple question. Jesus.
I'm looking at this as a resource now. I can just before I send these things off to DC, I can just run them through DAP and make sure I haven't missed a trick.
Shit.
In the next issue, he goes to a full-on arsenal, and we will see swords and knives and all kinds of stuff, and the big, you know, a sword.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's pivot now. We got to be now that this book comes out. Deathstroke #1 comes out next week. Next one.
Yeah.
So when people listen to this next Wednesday. But then you also let us read Feral #21, which is not come out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think because it was clear in the solicit, we can say it is a silent issue, an homage to the great. I presume it was an homage to the great G.I. Joe silent issue, right? Like that was
#21. You got it,
Number
right?
21?
Yeah. No, I'm saying I assume that was I didn't want to presume, but it would have been a hell of a coincidence. But I figured as much. I would have like what a uncanny coincidence. But so we read it. We have to be extra careful here. #1 because it's creator owned, so we don't take any dollars out of your pocket. 2, things happen. It's a big issue. And we'll leave it at that. But I will say that weirdly, I didn't know you were coming on until a couple days ago when we were trying to figure out who to have on in Vince's absence, as he's enjoying a cruise with his lovely wife. And last week when we were talking, one of the things I had on my list of having read but didn't get a chance to get to because we ran out of time was I caught up on the last arc of Feral. So through #20. So I was all ready to talk about Feral last week, and then I presume I would have talked about it this week until we found out you were in fact coming on. So we'll leave the 21 vague, and we'll let you kind of lead the conversation there. But I will say that catching up, all I could think as I was reading, well, no, there were a couple things. #1, fuck them cats. I am a dog person. Yes, I had cats for a lot of my life, so I'm not really an anti-cat, but like I very much care about dogs more than cats. And I realized that reading this last arc because Moosh, who is the pit bull, and for those of you who aren't current, first of all, shame on you for not being current. That shame on you. But because it's family. I mean, you're taking money out of family's pockets. But for those that despite that, are willing, are full of hate in your heart and don't want to support our people. Moosh is a pit bull who was raised by his cat master, or I guess father in this case, and so he's hyper loyal. He's like, it's like if you had an adopted child who happened to grow up into like Conan the Barbarian or something, right? Like, and so Moosh is like in this world just an absolute badass because he single-handedly can wipe out, seemingly dozens of rabid feral animals that are trying to attack the kitties. And so there was a point, though, in this arc where I'm like, oh, he's going to fucking kill Moosh. Like, Tony's going to kill Moosh. And I was going to be like, it might have been, like, our friendship might have been on the rocks. Like, I might have not invited you to dinner at Heroes. I was going to be like, now, and I say that because for all I know, you've written several issues since. If he dies, I'm going to feel really some kind of way. And I realized, I'm like, I'm fine with cats dying, but the dog dying really upsets me. So then I'm like, yeah, I really do care about cats. But you all, that's observation #1. Observation #2 is you are savvy. You are savvy because you like you have the success of Stray Dogs, and then you pivot from the dogs to the cats, and then I know it's not Walking Dead per se, but like there's obviously a lot of similarities, and then you give us like this last arc where they find a haven in this pet store, which should be a panacea, and again it's very evocative of like in Kirkman's Walking Dead there were a few instances. Multiple at that point because he wrote the comic for 15 years, but like there were multiple periods where they'd go through like hell in the open world and then they'd find a haven, and for a while the haven was pretty lit, right? And they're like, damn, maybe it's finally like maybe we can finally have some peace. But then like it's never what you think it is. It's always fucking ends up being tragic. And like I'm like, oh, he's like, and it's such a smart idea. Like again, I don't know that you had this great like commercial like vision for all of this, but like as a capitalist, as your bro who's into making money, I'm like, this motherfucker, like he's like giving people The Walking Dead with fucking animals, and nobody ever wants to see animals die, and it's like it's fucking brilliant. Like people like they got to be so invested, especially if you really love cats. And so I was reading this, like it's so smart, like it's like, and again, like you're like my brother. So I don't think you're breaking new ground necessarily in Feral, like with the plot contrivances of what happens. But it's well executed and it has heart in it. Like you put heart in the character writing, but then it has extra heart because it's animals.
Right.
And like that is like a ninja level, like little commercial, little like nitro into the idea. So salute.
It's a trick that we figured out on Stray Dogs that I had the idea for Stray Dogs, and the basic premise was just like if we told this from the dog's point of view, that's a different kind of story. But what I didn't account for until the book came out was, oh, people will be extra invested in these characters because they're dogs and because they're cute. And so going into Feral, like we knew that now. Like now we have that thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously we're thinking about that. And it is like you can do all these zombie genre things. They're not, I mean, I haven't seen all of Walking Dead. I haven't read all of Walking Dead. I basically
Right. It's zombie trope. Right. It's not like Kirkman. Like Kirkman
Yeah.
isn't like many zombie tropes are. Oh, we found a safe place to hide out, and it's not safe. So you're right. It's fair.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they're in a mall. And,
Right.
and then it's a little bit the road. They're eating people. You know, like there's
Yeah.
so yeah, it's basically me taking all my favorite zombie stuff and putting it into figuring out a way to make people even more terrified because it's going to happen to these kittens.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you caught up with it. The silent issue, we can basically talk about the premise of it. Like
Yeah. We'll let you. Why don't you lead it? Because like we have to. Before we started recording, we all talked about like the whole thing, and we obviously agreed. So we'll let you kind of steer us there because I don't want to mistakenly say something you don't want us to talk about. So
well, yeah, it's definitely not. It's not just a silent issue. Like it's like big things happen at you, and it's the idea was at the end of issue 20. We move these characters out of Pet City where they've been for the past like 7+ issues, basically. And they're in a new location. They get taken to this sort of CDC makeshift work site. And we knew that we were coming up on issue 21, and we had this character, Ghost, who's a deaf cat. And we were like, we wanted, ever since issue 6, I think it was the Patch issue where we did a point of view issue where we followed Patch around and watched as he changed into a rabid monster. We wanted to do another point of view issue, and I had wanted to do Ghost because I wanted to do a silent issue. And as we were sort of like plotting out the arcs, Dennis, my editor, was like, "Well, you got 21 coming up," and I was like, "Oh, fuck, that's cool. If we can land on issue 21 like GI Joe, that rules." So that was the intent, and then basically like just have this cat get loose inside this place, and he gets separated from Moosh, who's like his sort of in the past issues of Feral has been like his buddy. Like they've been hanging out and fighting monsters together and playing together and sort of like Lucky had been busy sort of like being in charge of Pet City, and so Moosh was hanging out with this cat, Ghost, and they're buddies. So Moosh and Ghost have been separated, and Ghost is fierce for his friend, so he's sort of running around this place looking for him. And while he's doing that, we get to sort of get a peek into the location where we're going to be for this next arc, and also get a better idea, start to get a better idea of like what's been going on in the outside world. Because all the places they've been up until now, with the exception of like the cat lady, there have been no people. And so now we get to sort of show you and let the reader hear, even though the dogs won't understand what they're saying, let the reader hear some of what's going on outside and how widespread this thing is and sort of what the stakes are for the rest of the world, and then what that means for our guys. So yeah, it's a silent issue, and we get to show you the stakes of the immediate place that they're in, and then also start to tease out the stakes of the outside world around them. And hopefully it was, David, you said you hadn't read up until 21, but you jumped in, right? Is it something you can pick up? Was the previously, did it give you enough?
Oh yeah, no, everything. Yeah, it's. I mean, in the cover it says, this is a new arc. So as long as you read the previously, you get to cast the characters. I mean, obviously, it being a silent issue, you're not, aside from their actions, you may not get a sense of their personalities just yet. But yeah, it's a very easy issue to just get caught up on, and also actually care about these cats, because it's they're in a confined space, and it's yeah, there is some concern. So it's a solid issue. So yeah, if you are like me and you are behind, you can absolutely just jump in here and then go back and get caught up like I plan on doing. But yeah, no, it was real easy.
We also timed it out where this one comes out. Volume 4 trade just came out a couple weeks ago, and they just put out a
Perfect.
Image first dollar issue. Like, if you've never checked out Feral, you can grab this one and the first issue for, like, $5 all in before your discount at your shop or whatever. So yeah, we tried to really make this like a big things are going to happen. Jason also texted and said, like, there's a surprise that happens in this thing that, like, you said, like, it truly shocked you, right? Like, you have.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, it's not just a silent issue. Like, big things happen in it, and we're hoping to sort of, like, we're 20 issues in on a creator-owned thing. Sometimes it's hard to keep interest, and we're hoping to get a little interest spike here, and keep things rolling because we're trying to do this thing for at least another 4 more years after this.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think you'll have any problem reaccelerating whatever. I presume the book's doing well regardless, but
Yeah, it's been doing great. In this issue, we basically doubled our orders from the last one.
oh, nice.
Thanks in no small part to Robert Kirkman, because they're doing those Invincible month covers. And I did the Walking Dead month on Local Man, and we just did the Youngblood month on Feral a couple months ago, where, like, Image does these initiatives where you can, like, dip in and have your characters cross over with Youngblood or with Walking Dead or whatever. This Invincible one sold like crazy, I guess having it tied to the most popular cartoon on TV is the that helps. But yeah, so I'll be interested to see what the actual numbers. All our numbers went up anyway, but the Invincible cover really gave us a real boost. So big shout out Robert Kirkman and the Invincible gang. That was a nice boost.
Nice. And also something else I wanted to say before we move on is that because we've talked about your books a lot, and I realized that I feel like we unintentionally give Tone Rodriguez short shrift. Because I know, like, when you're not on the show, a couple times, like, I've Trish as being the illustrator, and obviously she is, but I mean, Tone, like, draws like a good chunk of the book too, right? Like, he does pretty much all the, like, non-characters, right? So I feel like
Yeah,
we should shout him out. We shout him out bigger than I have to this point with this book. He's a bigger part of the artistic picture than I think I've alluded to.
that's part of my fault too, because I'm bad at correcting. Because people say Trish on art and Tone on. Sometimes they'll be like layouts or whatever. Because that was what we credited him as on Stray Dogs.
Right. Yeah. No. That I know. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, this one they're co-artists. Like, he draws all the backgrounds and all the cars and everything that's people. She draws everything that's animals, and they sort of meet in the middle. But yeah, he just actually left here. He comes out and draws here at the house every couple of months, and just to make sure that we're staying on schedule. It's helpful to do it in the same room like we used to in the studio days. But he just left the other day. We just finished up issue 22, and he's working on 23.
Nice. Love it.
So yeah, he's the best. Thank you for calling that out, because I don't do a good enough job of appreciating him, as much as I should. It's a tough balance, because you don't want to make it sound like Trish isn't doing the whole thing, and you don't want to make it sound like he's not doing enough, but they really are. Like,
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
makes for a book that looks unlike anything that either of them would do on their own, but also, like, unlike anything that anybody else is doing.
You guys are a throuple.
Yeah, we're ethical sluts.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
What have you guys been reading besides my stuff?
I read something from our other fourth chair as I'm going through the piles of books that I have around me. Of course, Tana Ford had a deal where if you were ordering the Space Cat from her, you were able to also, aside from it getting signed, you're able to get commissions or blank covers or things from her inventory. But so I finally dug out the Space Cat, sat down and read it. As I said, drawn by Tana Ford, written by Nnedi Okorafor. They're the creative duo behind LaGuardia from Dark Horse. This was adorable. I really didn't know what to expect. I knew, she went around and like Tony did the junkets and talked it up and promoted it on the socials often. So it was I really didn't know what to expect because I didn't get into the nitty gritty of what the story of the Space Cat was about, and I very pleasantly, happily surprised. It's a funky story. I do kind of hope we get more. Not kind of. I do hope we get more. I don't know if there is more in the cards. This was published by First Second. Came out last year, and it's basically the origin of Periwinkle, which is Peri is Nnedi's cat and her daughter's cat, and it's Pumpernickel, Pickle, Periwinkle, Chukwu, Okorafor is the full government name, but goes by Periwinkle, and Periwinkle goes out into space at night when mom is asleep, goes out into spaceship and flies around beyond the atmosphere and actually comes across another cat who's from Neptune and they race. But Nnedi is it's I'm not saying this is a biography. It's Nnedi in this book is the same Nnedi that wrote this book. So there's a part where they are going back home, or she is packing everyone up. They're going to Nigeria because she's got another book to write, and the publisher has put them up in this nice place and took care of everything. So Periwinkle is going to Nigeria, and on the flight there, Periwinkle is in cargo with the rest of the pets and makes friends more or less. But it between the outer space adventures and dealing with a situation in Nigeria, I'm not trying to I'm not going to give anything away. But just even the few pages at the start with because as anybody who has had cats, there's I have the cat in the next room that still has trust issues with me. Loves mommy though, fucking mama's boy. But Rocket is like, yeah. If I have treats, he's cool with me. If I put down his wet food, he'll come around. But like if I go to give him scritches, or if I just want to hang out, he's like, no, we ain't that cool. So Periwinkle was very apprehensive at the start. When Periwinkle came home, zipped all around the house, kept himself, didn't want to really bother with anyone until there was a moment where finally guard was down and was content and happy and knew that this was home. So you get those moments at the start. You've got the adventures, and it's beautifully illustrated by Tana. I am a big fan of Tana's work to begin with, but I don't know if it's the paper. I don't know if it's the colors. There is just something about the look in this book that is maybe it's because it's primarily about a cat and some animals. Although again, Nnedi and her daughter Nnedi are in it quite a bit. But I'm sorry, Anye. But yeah, it's a beautiful looking book. It's available in hardcover, trade paperback. Definitely recommended. I am kicking myself for not getting to this sooner, because it's not a it's not. I'm not going to call it a quick read because even though I did read it in one sitting, there's a lot packed onto these pages and these panels. So it's not something you're kind of just going to breeze through, especially the expressions when Periwinkle has to take a bath because, of course, cats get dirty. There's a whole the expressions are great, especially when Periwinkle is all clean and dried off and snuggled in bed. It's fun. It's all ages. It's not a it's not a teen plus or anything like that. It's very it's a very fun story. I enjoyed it a lot, and so yeah, I'll let Tana know because again, I've been sitting on this for a minute, and I wish I didn't, but it has been read. I loved it. I will let other people know that they should pick it up. It's a great story, and there is something there where hopefully we can maybe build on it. I don't know if that's the plan, but yeah, I would not mind seeing more of the Space Cat. So definitely just something that I had a lot of fun with. It was also a nice break from anything heavy, not just going on in the world, but also any of the ongoing series that I'm currently reading that I just needed to take a break from. So it was perfect timing, hit the spot, really enjoyed it. Definitely recommend it.
Nice. I as you know, but DCBS did me wrong. My order got canceled.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so I gotta try and get it elsewhere because I pre-ordered it and was waiting for it, and then I got one of those emails saying sorry.
That's whack.
So sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
I know, man. What?
I think this is personal. I think Christina Merkler hates Tana. But
Could be. I think she's got it out for Tana. Yeah.
Damn.
So I read a terrific debut issue of a 5-issue limited series from Image Comics. We're very pro Image Comics around here.
nice.
They put money in Tony's pocket, so it makes us happy. This is a comic by a creative team I suspect is new to many people, and that is the creators are Patrick Kindlon, Kindlon, and EPHK. The book is written by Patrick Kindlon, and it is drawn, colored, and designed by EPHK. And the book in question is Tigress Island, and it's an absolute delight. Now, I bought this book sight unseen. Well, not sight unseen, but I didn't read the solicit. I bought this book purely because I saw that EPHK was putting out an Image comic. I have been a fan of his work for some time. I have backed all of his, or at least as many as since I've known his work, Kickstarters. He's a frequent Kickstarter, generally puts out art books or his own comics. He actually was first aware of him for his like commissions before I was aware of his actual comics. But EPHK is a very, very person. And I've actually now that we're talking, I don't know if PHK is a man or a woman or how they identify. I don't know. Do you know? Does either guys know? I've always thought of EPHK, I guess, because they draw buxom, sexy women as being like a man, but I could be totally wrong on that. Either way, I don't know.
Born child of the 80s, he grew up splitting time between France and Canada. A doodler from the beginning, he fell into tattooing as a young man in Montreal. There
you go. But if you are familiar with his work, he has a very distinctive style, which I love. He uses a really nice, thick, consistent black line weight, like on his characters. Is like I'm a mark for that kind of illustration of just like a thick, solid, consistent black outline. And he loves drawing beautifully buxom women. All of his women are very curvy. Like hourglass, 36, 22, 36 types. And much of his personal creator-owned work is very sexual. He's a fan of erotica and stuff. This is a little tamer. which is probably no surprise because it's an Image book, but it's very much an homage to those exploitation 70s and 80s films, like, female prison films. That's the kind of vibe. We are introduced to a bunch of gorgeous women of various shapes, sizes, and colors, and they all are meeting up at a club in I believe in Hong Kong. It's somewhere. Maybe it's somewhere in China. It's either Hong Kong or China. But they meet up at a place in Asia, and they're meeting there under the auspice of meeting their handler, their promoter, who is putting them into high-end escorting. And it's Hong Kong. It's Hong Kong in 1987. The women are all showing up, and they're kind of like sizing each other up, giving little cues about their background or their vibe. You've got you've got the actress, you've got the model wannabe, and they've all got like tropey sort of backgrounds. One of them's super serious, one of them's ditzy, one of them's mysterious, one of them's tough. You get, it's just like he's playing up this stereotypical melange of different sexually attractive stereotypes for people that are find different types of women attractive. Like he's kind of giving everybody their kink. And we meet the women, and they're all kind of waiting for the night to begin and meet their handler and get off to getting on with it. And lo and behold, even though they very much say like, hey, we're not, like one of them says, hey, I'm not a hooker, like I'm sleeping with these guys, and the handler's like, oh, that's, of course, that's in your contract. Like there's no, sex is not part of the deal. Like you're there to make them look good, on the runway, at events or corporate, whatever. They're just like, he assures them that they're not prostitutes. That they legit are there just to be pretty women, on the runway or whatever. But of course that's all bullshit. And they get sent to a place called Tigress Island, which is this bacchanal, private island of like a giant casino resort type of island, where full of absolutely beautiful people, and it's a prostitute island, and they've basically been captured and brought there, and setting up, I presume, for the rest of the series, them having to try and fight and escape their way off of Tigress Island. It was a delight. It was absolutely a delight. Look, it is what it is, right? Like if you're not into sex positive, homages to 70s exploitation, this is not your vibe, right? This is definitely not something you should check out. But if that's something that you have a bit of affinity for, can relish in and escape into, then this is a book that's going to be an absolute hoot. And it looked great. I know nothing about the writer. I don't know anything about their prior work or their history or their background. But I knew it would look good, and I think it read well too. And I really thought it was a great first issue. So very excited to see what else comes of these ladies as they try and escape Tigress Island.
I'm excited for this one. I read Heartbeat, but I haven't gotten this copy yet. I'm excited to check it out. But I love that guy's artwork a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like a Pam Grier movie, but that guy's drawing it. I'm on board.
And
exactly. That's a good. Exactly. Pam Grier would be a great comp for this. Yeah.
There's the Kickstarter that recently wrapped up that from PHK that we should be getting soon. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But this, yeah. The art alone had me ready to check it out, but Kinlan worked on co-created Frontiersman that came out from Image right around the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Vince and I were talking about that when that was released, and recently the writer of Gehenna Naked Aggression. So
okay. So yeah, two books I really didn't read, but not for any reason. I just didn't make my purview. Okay.
So I like the
nice.
I like the characterization from Kinlan. So yeah, that it should be. I'm looking forward to getting it. I didn't read the Image preview, but yeah, I am looking forward to checking out that first issue.
Oh yeah, it looks great.
Oh yeah,
we need more exploitation comics. What's that?
You guys keep going, because I'm in writing mode, not reading mode right now. I just realized as I sat down to record this, like, gosh, I haven't read a comic in like 3 weeks.
That's crazy. That's
nice.
crazy.
I haven't been to the shop. I'm about to be in the shop every fucking weekend, and every I'm like Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays for the next 2 weeks. My schedule is crazy, so I will be caught up. I will have a lot of new comics, but right now I'm a piss poor guest unless you want to talk about stuff that I read.
Dap, did you get and or read Faster?
I ordered it, so it should be. It's. I gotta wait till the end of the month for it to come in the box.
Okay,
But go ahead and
well,
talk about it because I know it's
was gonna
not
say,
new.
I can talk about it because it's not new, and there's no real way to spoil it. I mean, it is effectively it's a 40-page like zine. So yeah, so Faster is the copy I'm holding and talking about is a new comic. It just came out, but it's to Dap's point, it is a reprint of a book that was originally made in 2021. And the reason it's been reprinted is because it is by a friend of the show and my favorite creators in the biz these days, Jesse Lonergan. Jesse has been making really cool comics for a long time. But I think it's fair to say that Jerome was his commercial glow up, right? It was on everybody's shortlist for best of the year last year. I think it really exploded it exploded people's awareness of him, and we already knew what a badass he was. It raised his level of recognition in the industry to new heights, and I think as part of that, smartly, he and his publisher, who also put out Jerome, decided, hey, like we put out Faster years ago, and it was cool, but like probably didn't sell that many copies. So how about we do a new version of it? And that's what they did. So Faster is just a 40-page short story about a car race, car racers, I should say, and it introduces us to a bunch of the racers, and there were definite Laugh Olympics vibes for me, which is just like, I mean, just you want to talk about massaging my taint. I mean, Jesus, like you give me a Laugh Olympics vibe of like cool race cars with like awesome characters, like all competing against one another to try and drive each other off the road. I mean, that is right alley. So you've got Kona DeMille, who's the 5-time world champion. You've got Soda Pop, Balaclava, Action Verlaine, Upton Eclair, Tiger Montreux, Mothra, Pearl. Like, you just get a bunch of different characters like that, and we just watch them have a race. And we get little interstitials about their backgrounds or little interviews just to get a little peek into each of their characters. It's 40 pages of a race book, so it's you're not getting deep dives into anybody. And you kind of see it's a cool trope. Like, Jesse gives you flashbacks to let you know a bit about each character as they're in reverse order of their finish. So, like, racer finishes in 8th place, you get a little flashback, and then you find out they finished in 8th, et cetera, until we get to the winner. I loved it. Thought it was great. I mean, listen, I don't think Jesse's capable of drawing something poorly. So this is no different. It's great. It's a nice little package. It's like a digest-sized book with it's actually got a slipcover, which is interesting for a 40-page comic. It's like the decision to make a slipcover I thought was fascinating. It's got beautiful spot varnish of like the race car on it, and yeah, it's just a great little package, fun book, fit in your back pocket if you're so inclined, and definitely worth checking out. So, Faster by Jesse Lonergan. It's like it's like sorbet to clear your palate after Jerome, while we wait for something meatier from him as he works on this next thing.
Is this new edition from Bolgihan Press?
Yeah, same publisher. Yeah,
that's the same person that put out Drone.
Yes. No, 23rd.
23rd did. Oh no, yeah. This is the same publisher that put out Faster.
Oh, okay. So they're re-releasing it.
Yeah, just cashing in on that Drome.
Yeah, and I don't know if the 2021 version was this or not. Like, I don't know if it was the same packaging or if it was more of just a mini comic style. So,
yeah, no, I'm ordering it. It looks great. I like Jesse. That guy rules.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I like that he won't listen to your reviews.
Yes,
it's true. But the word was conveyed.
Yeah.
Listen, we weren't the only ones to glaze him. I have a feeling maybe not ours, but I think he probably couldn't have helped himself but to listen to a few of them.
You heard some of them, yeah. That sounds right. right, well, I'm gonna check this out after the show. This looks great.
He probably heard Harper talk about it.
Everybody hears Harper. I don't want
I know.
put salt in your wound, but everyone comes up to me and goes, "I heard you on Harper. What a show." I've been out here talking on shows for years.
Listen, I mean,
It's Harper.
I'm a patron, so I'm not. It's not throwing salt on my.
Yeah,
Dave and I are in a fantasy baseball league together for like a decade now.
I met Barry Dodson this weekend at Emerald City Comic Con, and I was across from him at the tables, and I went over just to say hi to him because I loved his work my whole life. And he was like, "Oh, I heard you on Off Panel. That was great." And I was like, "What? That's crazy. Everybody listens to that."
Well, he goes on off panel a lot.
He's one of the regulars on there.
He's a guest. Yeah, he's been on the show multiple times, which I view as being a regular. Right?
I think
that being said, Terry has listened to our show too, so I can't be mad at that.
Like I said, when you're drawing comics, there's a lot of time to be listening to podcasts.
That's true.
Some people I know they just watch TV shows over and over again. Others listen to podcasts. I'm a podcast.
Well, that's why Scotty said on our 1000th episode that he doesn't podcast because he doesn't draw anymore. Which is kind of bullshit because he draws a lot.
He doesn't do covers? Come on.
Yeah, he doesn't draw interiors, but he draws like 87 covers a month that make him like $14 million. So I think it's like...
I talked to him about it. It is way less than when you're doing interiors. He's doing covers for like a couple hours a week.
God, must be nice. Must be nice.
He really did. I told him when I saw him, I was like, man, you're everybody that draws cartoony, that guy's my friend, and so it's not like I'm like a fanboying out on him, but sometimes I just have to let him know, like, listen, I told him, like, you're like Django to us. When we see you, it's like seeing Django. It's like, look at him. He's there with everyone else. Just draws cartoony.
It's really a fascinating thing, like this group of cartoonists who basically evolve into but like doing covers and making like fortunes doing it. Now Scotty's also an active writer, right? So he's not. But I mean, but like but if you but there, I mean, he's not alone, right? I mean, in fact, Scotty's even acknowledged like model he built like Stupid Fresh Mess from, right? Like he, like that model of like. But these guys, they just, I guess it's probably to your point, like there's the answer. It doesn't consume every waking hour. Like they can draw covers much faster, I guess. So yeah.
It's different from person to person. I can find a way to make a very simple cartoony drawing of a pony take me a whole fucking day. Sometimes you're feeling it and you can just knock it out real quick. I've done covers, in an hour. I've done covers that have taken me, 2-3 days.
Sure. Yeah. I would imagine what's it take him a couple hours? Like it can't like a few hours max to do a cover, I would assume.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He's definitely got it figured out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Can't figure out how to draw a 20-minute domino for me.
Is he on your list? You don't have a...
Oh, there's a running... he'll never draw at this point because it's a running joke. It's a... And like I've said to him, I'm like, bro, like it's so weird to me because like I'm like, you do warm-up sketches and sell them for $1,000. Like just drew a warm-up sketch of Domino and I'll pay I'll buy it. Like I don't want to do it. Like I don't want to gratis me. Like I'm like, bro, I'm not asking to like do me a solid because we're homies. I'm like, but like in one of your myriad days where you decide to draw a warm-up sketch to fucking pay your mortgage, like I will pay your mortgage that month. Just draw a domino. Like it's really not that hard. Have Megan text me, "Hey, Scotty drew domino today," and I'll say, "Great, I'll PayPal you later." Like it's not that hard.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I feel like that should happen. That sounds easier than hoping there's another domino series that you can just do a cover that you could grab.
Well, first of all, I don't buy covers, and I wouldn't like a Scotty cover would be $10,000. I'm not gonna I wouldn't pay that. Why? I don't buy covers. Like I think covers are like, again, much love to anybody else's kink. Who am I to say? I spend ungodly amounts of money on my kinks, but like, I do not understand the appeal of covers. I don't get it.
Well, but you don't get it. Don't care about covers on a book. Like you just grab whatever cover's up there, right?
Absolutely, and I just do not get why why a illustration because it was on the cover is worth 5 to 10 times more. It doesn't make any sense to me. I do not like it's my logic circuits totally break with that idea. I don't get
So
it.
you're also out on like title splashes and splash pages. You weren't the same.
No. Because those are parts of the story. Those have storytelling elements. Those have words
Yeah.
like modern. Now older covers I get, but modern covers, they're commissions. They're pinups, like literally. Like, so someone who buys lots of commissions, it's hard for me to say. Well, I mean, I have pick a modern artist who does covers. I have commissions from them, and I
Right.
paid a tenth. Like, and on my wall or in my portfolio or in my mind, like there's no difference in the quality or beauty of the drawing. So it's just that it wasn't published on a comic that nobody's gonna remember was, like.
Yeah. Everyone.
I get owning the cover of DKR. I get owning the cover. Like I'm not saying like if it has provenance, I understand the significance of that. But like, why? Well, like your cover of Deathstroke, I assume you will sell that for more because it's a cover than if you did a pinup of Deathstroke and had it at your table.
Right.
To me, I mean, because I like you and your art, but I own lots of your art. Like, I would never pay the markup, but someone will, and more power to you. Like, but I don't understand why it'd be worth
Yeah, that
more
is
because
I was next to Todd Knock at Emerald City, and I looked through his original art because I'm a big fan, and he had a Jeff the Landshark piece in his portfolio that was, hold on a second, Baxter's wrapped up in this cord. There we go, buddy. He had Jeff the Landshark piece that was much cheaper than all the other covers that he had in his portfolio, and I was like, well, how come this one? And Dawn, his wife, was like, oh, that one was just a print that he made for a show. But easily you could just turn that in and they would print that as a cover or whatever, also.
yeah.
But that is interesting. I hadn't considered
For sure.
it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, hopefully he does a daily sketch. I got to imagine that'll happen sooner or later. It will have to be if you suffer some sort of great loss or something. I feel like we could get if you're in a terrible car accident or a tree falls on your house. I think we could probably get him to do
yeah, maybe not to put that bad mojo out there, but
knock on wood. Here we go.
yeah. I also read because there's kind of a theme here of books featuring buxom ladies, but I read the first 2 issues of the DC Black Label comic, Sirens Love Hurts. Now, this is an interesting one because, well, I think it's interesting for multiple reasons, but I think that the first thing that's notable is that it's the return to comics after a considerable period away, at least in terms of published comics, of Babs Tarr.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now, Tap and I, you remember we met Babs before she had done any published work back at Heroes. She was just in one of those rows at Heroes where people are put that don't really have much of a presence, and as I'm wont to do, I was just going up and down the rows looking for people to draw jam pieces back then, and she was drawing on like little napkins, cocktail napkins. She was drawing little pinups on cocktail napkins, and I remember we struck up a conversation, and she did a jam piece, and it was very lovely, and then she very quickly kind of became like a hot artist, and then disappeared for a while, I think, for reasons we don't have to get into, and then I think has been making a pretty nice living doing I don't know if it's a Substack or a Patreon, but like basically drawing her own things, and I think mostly like erotic comics, but I think she did quite well with it. But I always liked her work. I thought I very much like, she's very manga illustrated, like like kind of a mix between like pinup and chibi, like those like really like you could picture a lot of her drawings as like cell animation in an anime, I think. And I suspect that's because that's where she gets her inspiration from. But yeah, it's been years since I saw Babs Tarr on a comic, at least one that I noticed, and she's doing the art, and Teenie Howard is doing the writing. And I've always liked the Birds of Prey and the like, so I thought, oh, let me check this out. It's Black Label, maybe it'll be a little adult, and it is. It's a lot of fun. First of all, I think Babs looks great, and her versions of Ivy, Harley, Selena and Dinah are like beautiful. Like in both like literally beautiful, but also I think like really smart and modern. I mean, they're very fashion forward. They're modern women. It's a book by modern women about modern women, like fashion, who like culture. Like it's definitely like I don't think I am the target demographic for this book, but I still very much enjoyed it. And the premise is effectively that that Black Canary is friends with Selena, and Selena talks her into meeting up with Ivy and Harley under the auspice of, even though the three of them are villains and Black Canary's a hero, they all want to see the women of Gotham protected more than they are, and so that's the conceit. And they agree to form, the Sirens to protect the women of Gotham, and adventures ensue. But it's just a ton of fun, man. Like there's sexy time scenes between Selena and Bruce. There's sexy time scenes between Harley and Ivy, and lots of fun banter, lots of fun action, and I really think Babs's art looks fantastic. So I really enjoyed it, man. Or I am enjoying it, I should say. I think it's just a fun, sexy crime book, and they're trying to stop a person who is murdering women at random, and they think it's the Calendar Man. And I say thinking because I think they're wrong. You're led to believe it's Calendar Man, but which leads me to believe it's probably not going to be Calendar Man. But either way, it's been a hell of a fun first two issues, and I hope it's doing well and it continues apace. It's a blast. So if you want sexy, if you want to see sexy, slight, and it's adult, and that, like, they have the sexy time. They use profanity. There's actual death, like the people actually get killed. So I'm here for the Black Label. I'm not sure like where Black Label fits into the DC framework now with Absolute and we like the line that you guys are doing, Tony. But like I guess it still has a place for when it's like adults
Yeah,
only. Is that like is
I
that the
can.
vibe?
Yeah, I can fill you in here. I happen to
Hmm.
know. So, Vertigo is creator-owned stuff, basically at DC, and then Black Label will be stuff that has DC characters, but that has adult themes and stuff like that. That's the
Nice.
difference. So, Swamp Thing would be Black Label, not Vertigo. But all
Got
these
it. Okay.
Vertigo books, they're basically like Dark Horse or Image, fully creator-owned, no DC characters.
Okay. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Well, there
That's
you have
that's
it.
your representative, DC representative, bringing you DC information. Happy to help.
I love it. I love it. Well, I think
Yeah.
Gotham City Sirens lends
Yeah,
itself to Black Label more than because
I was googling
like
it the whole time you were talking. It looks beautiful. I'm excited that Babs
right?
is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. Like and
Yeah.
Babs is great with the facial expressions, and like the just like I just you can it's I don't know who illustrated or what I guess it was probably 87 people illustrated K-pop Demon Hunters, but it's like to people playing at home like it's that kind of illustration style, like really expressive anime style like facial reactions to things and but it's great. I think she's really good at it. It's nice to have her back. I actually had forgotten honestly how good a cartoonist she was because I mean, real talk. I mean, we might as well get into it, right? Like, when she first burst on the scene, there was a lot of people who thought that she wasn't necessarily drawing all of it because she was
Right.
in a relationship at the time with a person who I won't get into, but like that person, a lot of people thought he kind of like brought her along and was like her finisher, and stuff. And like maybe that was true then. I don't know, but I'm confident based on what happened in that relationship and subsequently that she's drawing for on her own now, and she looks great. So I mean, kudos to her. Like she's continued to work on her craft.
Yeah, well, I don't think that was even like a question mark about what was going on. He was just drawing layouts, right? Like he would
Oh, I
draw
don't
like.
know. Again, I don't like. Yeah, I can't profess to have perfect memory of all that. I just remember it was a whole thing. Yeah. So.
I, yeah, I don't want to get into it either.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There you
I
go.
Exactly.
think she's
Yeah.
a very
Exactly.
talented cartoonist, and also she sort of had that model of like how to make money without even doing the comics. Like we were talking about Scotty, like she had her version of that set up and up and running early on. Like she had like Sticker Club and sort of like Patreon.
Yes.
Anybody.
That's what I'm saying. She was doing the erotic stickers and the erotic, like, yeah, and it was, I think, at least it felt, for a while, it felt like she was printing money with it. I don't know if she's still doing that or what have you, but yeah.
Yeah, I would get Trish was always mesmerized by her because she would just show up at like New York Comic Con or Baltimore or whatever. I guess New York, and go in there and just like set up for like 5 minutes, sell out all her stuff, and then, and then just be
Yeah,
able
and
to.
she's like a very, I mean, and I think the women in her comics look like, right? Like she's a very like, fashion forward, like heavily make-upped, heavily like she always dresses to the nines, right? Like that, like that's her vibe. Like she's got like that glam girl vibe, like in real life.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Her stuff always looks cool. I'm excited to check this out. I talked to Teeny about it before any of the artwork was out, and she was just like, "Oh, I'm doing a new Gotham City Sirens book with Babs Tarr," and I was like, "Well, get ready to be rich. That sounds like royalty heaven." Sounds like the sort of thing that will pay for years and years and years. So,
There you go. Yeah. Well, I hope that's true.
I hope so too.
That would be nice.
I mean, I presume it's a miniseries, honestly. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, most Black
just because
Labels
I
are.
feel like, yeah, but either way.
That sounds like something you put into a digest, reprint it over and over again.
Well,
Keep
I'll tell you,
on.
I was fantasy booking. Like, I mean, I was like, man, I wish Babs had made her comeback like 2 years ago, and we got her paired up with Kelly on Birds of Prey, because that
Oh,
would have been lit.
that would have been great too. Man, I fell off on Birds of Prey. I need to.
Well, it's over now, so
It's done now, but I wonder
yeah,
how they're going to collect it all.
yeah,
I'm sure I have it all around here too. I don't
yeah.
have a very organizational system. I buy them, they come in here, they go into different boxes. It's like if I were ever killed or somebody had to come in and figure out what all this stuff meant, it would take a long time for people to piece together how all this stuff fits together.
There you
Anyway,
go.
I need to catch up. Did you get to the end of it? Did you finish off the run?
Yeah, yeah, it was good. It was real good. No, I mean, Kelly's another one who's been on absolute heater the last few years.
Yeah,
She's
she was
Yeah.
not at the DC thing. I wish that she was because she's a true favorite of mine. I would love to like see how she was in the room, see how her mind works
I
in
don't
person,
know that she ever attends in person.
or even Zoom. I feel like
Oh
she
yeah,
could.
no, I'm saying because I know like from having her on the show, like, and even like not too long ago, I reached out to have her to see if she wants to come back. She's
Yeah,
always very magnanimous, and I guess because she's probably gets request like her response has always been the same. Like every time I've ever asked, is always like, oh yeah, but remember I don't do video. I only do audio. And then one time after we talked, I was like, oh yeah, and she was like, I think because once she came on and had a good time, then she explained like she's very like I don't know like what phobia, but she's got like a phobia of like
yeah.
like being in public places.
Like,
I think yeah. So
yeah. I can dig it. I get it. I'm that's a
well, you don't have that fear. You fucking live to be out in public.
no, but I do think like the way that she's written all these characters that people really care about and that they get up in arms about, like especially for a woman sticking your head out like that, it's a whole different thing.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, I hope she gets to enjoy in whatever way she's comfortable the fruits of her labor, though, because like I think to whatever extent she could find herself comfortable and like maybe it's a certain setting or a certain con or maybe a location, like how I mean she would have a fucking
Yeah,
I mean a line to no end. There
yeah,
are like and well earned. I mean I think she like I said she has had an incredible. I mean I just that she was on a heater before Absolute hit, and now
Yeah.
now it's like to the moon, dude. Like you forget about it.
God, I love that book.
good for her. I wish they would bring back Black Cloak. That's what I would wish. That's the
Yeah, we
part that
got
the
the
healing.
second arc. Did the second arc finish?
It finished. It's great. It made me cry. It's super good,
Yeah.
but it
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys follow her her Substack, but she puts out a pretty like she frequently updates it and is very forthright and she was very clear and I think she even said on our show after we had her on after the first volume like that it just didn't sell.
Yeah.
yeah,
So like it's and you can I mean you've talked about it. There are
yeah,
labors of love, but like when you're at a point in your career where you're like making money finally, like you're really actually like earning a real living after like it's hard to do those labors of love when they're costing you money. You know, like
And it's one thing if you're doing it solo, but when you have when you're working with
right. Well, that was the
partners,
thing, right? She said she had to pay obviously
Meredith,
and it, you know, obviously it's which is only fair, but it's like basically she was subsidized. You know, it's just hard to justify, which is a shame because it was a really good book. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of mine. We always talk about this in the studio. Where if we hit Powerball, first thing we would do would be finance Monkey Man and O'Brien, get that back on.
Thank you.
There we go. Yeah, nice.
But Black Cloak's one of those too, where I would just be like, just let me open up a little LLC, Black Cloak LLC. You guys go over there and put this book together.
Just do it everyone.
Dude, it's so funny because I have had so many vivid like I don't ever play the lottery unless it's like, you know, the power. Like, it's like, you know, then you know, when it's the billion. But then of course, like we all do, if you play, you fantasy. And I'm like, to your point, I always think like, man, I would publish the most lit comics because I wouldn't care if we made any money.
Yeah,
I would just be like to all my friends who I think are talented, be like, what do you want to do? It sounded cool. Get it. Let's just go get it. It's gonna be lit.
Over here telling you to hold this beer.
Exactly. I feel like that happens, but I also feel like it's so hard to get people to go like be on board with that and go like, okay, well, let me give. This is the one that I've always wanted to do, and this is my big one. Rather than go
sure
like,
because you're worried it's not going to sell, right? Yeah, because you're like,
I got this in my. Here's a little something I don't mind doing on the side, you know.
But see, I think because the people that do that aren't like they're wealthy, but they're not like billionaires. Like if I was a billionaire, I'd be like, bro, like I'm giving you $500,000 this year to write this comic. Like just go do it. You know what I mean? Like where you'd be like, oh shit, well, I'm gonna do it. You know, like you do whatever the price is. Like what is your absolute best idea that you have, and like what would it take for you to do it here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like again, it'd be a loss leader. It'd be a write off. Like I wouldn't care about. Like I wouldn't need it to turn a profit. I just write it off against all my other earnings. You know.
Right. Do you have that? Do you have that? Like I have Monkey Man O'Brien. Do you have one where you just go like, that's one that I would get going up and going?
No, I don't have like specific titles. Again, I have more like a fantasy roster of people. You know, yourself included. I would just be like, all right, bros, like. Money's literally not an object. Like, let's get it. Like, let's fucking have. Like, let's make some noise. You know.
This is what I'm counting on now for my retirement, Jason.
Well, if you've taken a look at the market this week, this is not the time to fantasize about.
I did today. I did my taxes today, and I had to open up my my investment apps to get the tax documents out of them, and all of them just look like cartoons.
A sea of red, yeah. A sea of red, yeah.
It looks like
it's going to get worse before it gets better. Not to depress you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was already depressed. We're just here just telling stories. I live in a different cartoon world most of the time, and that's where I'm at.
You would be surprised, man. Like I am stunned at even like in my world where you know our clients are you know very very wealthy. Like how many human beings just don't want to look at their investment? Like even when they're doing great, they don't want to look at them. Like it's like it's the weirdest thing, dude. Like it's like we'll have meetings and like the client it'll be like unwrapping a present. They'll come in not knowing how they're doing, and I'll be like, okay, number one, you're worth X. Like that's like you didn't get there by not paying attention to money. But number two, like it's not like a secret. Like I'm not investing in like esoteric, like you know, like it's stocks and bonds. Like you literally could log in at any moment of exactly how much you're like how you're doing. Like it's not, you know, like there's no secret. It's not like a like wait till I surprise you. It's like you could literally just you know. So.
Is that superstition? You think it's just a watch pot never boils? They don't want to.
I think people just. I think even people with means are just generally uncomfortable with money. Yeah, I think generally speaking, most people are uncomfortable thinking about money. So
it is weird.
Yeah.
Oh, we've said it all. Robin said it all.
Nice. Yes. I can't believe he signed another contract. By the way, that's just insane to me.
Speaking of money,
yeah, but still, he's become the guy he used to make fun. I mean, he's become obvious. I mean,
sure.
Anyway, enough talk of Stern, but let's do the In Your Travels. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, hopefully Tony read something for In Your Travels at least.
Well, or not, we can.
I'll think of something.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Thank you, folks, for spending your time with us. As I said before, you could have been listening to anything else. You decided to listen to us, so we definitely love you for that. This episode, again, brought to you by our good friends at cheapgraphicnovels.com. Make sure you check them out so you can see what collections are available at excellent prices. In your travel, do a quick little Absolute-O-Rama between the last couple of issues of Absolute Superman, where he and Hawkman were facing the Parasite. The still written by Jason Aaron. The art for these two issues, Juan Ferreira, and it looks amazing. Again, whether it was De La Torre or Sandoval or Carmine earlier, it's the art team on Absolute Superman has been fantastic. But Parasite was freaky as hell. Ra's al Ghul, who was almost literally rotting away in a prison in India, chances are we haven't seen the last of Ra's, because he was content after Cal was visiting him. He seemed to be at ease with his future and where he'd be for the rest of his life. But things change. But and Hawkman also is a bit of an asshole. Not that should surprise anybody, even in the main DC universe. I feel Carter Hall is a bit of a prick. But the issue also, Superman actually says that he's Superman. So it was a pretty big moment. But yeah, the art was fantastic in these two issues. And we get even more with the interaction between Brainiac and Lex Luthor, and this issue, the body horror was off the charts, but not as bad or as horrific as it is in the recent issue of Absolute Batman. No spoilers because it's 24 hours old. The past two issues, Absolute Batman 17 and 18, dealing with Absolute Poison Ivy, and with guest artist Eric Nnedi, and he went all out. He's a fantastic Absolute Batman artist, following the Nitrogata footsteps beautifully. It's a but there's also, Snyder is laying things out so that even beyond the fight with Ivy and finding out about her origins and how she came to be, these two issues seem to also be implying or at least painting a larger Absolute universe picture with some comments and some not so throwaway lines. There's also a little bit more backstory or background for Martha, for Bruce's mom, and I guess she's done some things in her past, and even Jim Gordon stops by and talks to Bruce, and Bruce knows that Jim and his mom kind of have a thing, and Bruce isn't really ready to talk to him about that, but Jim has something else on his mind. So it was there was a lot going on in this week's issue of Absolute Batman. So yeah, in your travels, and we already talked about Kelly and her amazing work on Absolute Wonder Woman. So yeah, in your travels, get caught up on the Absolute Universe. And again, I believe DC is going back to print for pretty much almost every Absolute issue to date. 50 issues that they're going back to print on, that are being, I believe, have been released or are being released throughout this month or the next couple of weeks. But again, in your travels, DC's Absolute Universe.
That's cool that they keep going back to print. There's this whole new readership that came in with Absolute, that is sort of, there's like these people that we've been hoping for, waiting for, like it's manga kids, it's Dogman kids, it's people that are like checking out single issue comics for the first time. And I think making sure that they can always get the issues and do that part of it, not just jump to the trade,
Yeah,
is real good for direct market comics, and I'm psyched that DC, besides making money hand over fist doing that, but also like having the foresight to go like, if we keep them buying these in issues, that if somebody new hears about Absolute Batman and they can go get every issue and it's always available and always on shelves like that, that seems real helpful for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna do it in your travels like a counterpoint. Well, not really a counterpoint. You guys were both fans of Beneath the Trees last week when I was listening. It was sort of how I ended up on this episode because I texted you to say that they are doing more Beneath the Trees. And I feel like Patrick might have got too dark for you at the end of that.
No, just the opposite. I thought the second series was kind of a snoozer, where I was like, I'm not sure, like,
Oh,
it
really?
was worth going back to the well until the last two issues, and then I thought, oh, okay, like you went places. Like I was
Yeah.
like, all right.
Yeah, it did a little bit in the middle there. They sort of went on a stroll, but yeah, that issue 5 and 6, and I thought the issue 1 was fucking great too. Like, at
Totally.
least,
Yeah, absolutely. One, 5, and 6 were, yeah. Five. I mean, he brought it home. But I also think, to your point, I think we were saying though, like, I can't. I'm shocked to hear there's more because, like, I'm assuming. I mean, I guess we'll find out, but I guess in the third arc she must die because that's the only seemingly like be the only fitting end at this point because she is an absolute sadist, right? I mean, she's
true
complete.
monster. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
she always was from issue 1. She was a true monster, but yeah,
Yeah.
she's now there's he's sort of like laying out like if you thought because she's cute that she's nice to the people that she knows,
Right.
you're wrong
Yeah, she is
about
a sociopath of the highest order. Yeah.
it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think
but yeah,
also what led me to think that the the inkling that gave me an indication that there may be more coming is that the last handful of pages of the last issue is Samantha's narrating it, but from the point of view that she's talking about it these events are from the past. So
yes.
if that's the case, then yes, then she's either talking to somebody, she's telling someone's story, like maybe she's in a home somewhere and she's finally confessed.
Oh,
I'm
interesting.
not trying to write for her for Patrick, obviously,
Right.
but I just there were some breadcrumbs I felt.
That's
Yeah, I
true.
think
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much is like public record or how much is it just because I know Patrick, but I think the intention is to come back and jump into the future a little more every time. I know there's at least one more. There might be two.
Jesus.
But yeah, I thought that this series made the first series even better. And so if you
Mhm.
were on the fence about Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, if you haven't read any of it, this is a great time to really get a big meaty chunk of disturbing story.
Yeah.
Those 6.5, 12.5 issues. I got the very expensive hardcover of the first volume, and then they send me uh, the new volume because I do the covers for it. But don't let that make you think that I'm just shilling because I make no money after that. I just get paid to do the cover the one time. Yeah, I think it's great. It's one of my favorite comics. I'm very excited to see what Patrick does after this too. But I'm also excited that there will be more in this world. Because just selfishly, I want there to be like a nice, thick 20 issue hardcover at some point with all of these stories.
Much like I was giving you credit for the really smart commercial hook of what you've done with dogs and feral. Again, he had this really incredible idea, which you see it in action. You're like, well, that's brilliant. Like, why didn't someone else think of it? Because it's like let's do a serial killer of Richard Scarry. Like, that's just like it's just so twisted. It's really great.
It also takes. It's one of those things where you have to do it because when you say it, it almost sounds like a lark. You have to do it and you have to play it so straight, which he's done.
Right.
Where it's never a joke. It's never a gag that they're cute animals and stuff. It's just a horrific story that looks like this, and it's engaging. You get drawn into it because they do look like that. He's really, he's really doing it.
Also, I remember listening to a podcast interview he did after the first one broke big, and at the time he had no plans for. Like, I vividly remember him talking about it because it was like, "What? No," he's like, I had the story and I did it, and I have other things I want to do." And then, again, I name of it all. He probably realized, like, well, wait a minute, hold on a second.
I must have met him. I met him pretty early on in the thing, but I think it was already a pretty decent sized hit by the time like we ever hung out. So as long as I've known him, he was the plan was to do more. So it was at least.
So I think that once it became like, oh, this is like a real hit.
Yeah.
I'm being invited to cons because I made
Yeah,
more.
exactly.
Yeah. Nice. Well, in your travels, I'm in a karmic fulfillment phase, and again, a few weeks ago, I acknowledged publicly and painfully that a few of my boo Jeff Lemire's comics of late haven't been connecting with me in the way that he usually did. So I have been systematically catching up on his other comics and regaling y'all with the fact that rest assured, we're reconnected, we're back in sync, and
Still got
I know everyone was worried about our. But so in your travels, I implore you, if you haven't already, do get current with Black Hammer. In this case, Black Hammer Spiral City numbers 1 through 7, which was the latest miniseries. It came out. It started. I think it started late in 2024 and finished in the summer of last year. Listen, I've always said I love Black Hammer in all forms, and this is just more greatness. This is the start of a new era. I think he's called it Phase 3, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, it's the new era. It's the first major arc after the end of after Black Hammer, the end, which was the second Cataclysm in that universe, and this is kind of like the relaunch of this next phase. And it's in this world, the superheroes now are personas non grata. There's a Lex Luthor archetype named Malcolm Gold, who's the head of he was the head of this group Trident, which would be like Argus, and now he's running for mayor of the city and of Spiral City. Most of the former supers are like living in squalor in like the bowels of the town. They've nicknamed it Super Town, but it's like a shanty town. The whole world hates them because they blame them for the Cataclysm. And this series in its heart is really a noir detective arc. The main character is Inspector Insector, aka Harry Troubadour, who is as you might imagine, an anthropomorphic insect who wears a fedora and a trench coat and fancies himself like Humphrey Bogart, and he's trying to solve this mystery, and he's got a sidekick named Mr. Marionette, who's a sentient marionette puppet, and Lucy Weber is in the series, who is of course the second Black Hammer, the daughter of the original. But she's back in her role of investigative journalist, which is how we met back in the original Black Hammer when she was trying to figure out what happened to her dad and his teammates. You've got a return from one of the. I mean, he was in a couple different things, but it's been a while since we've seen him. Jose Torres, aka the Concretestador. Are you kidding me with these names, Jeff? The Concretestador. In prior iterations, he was the warden of the super prison, kind of like their Arkham, but now that's all gone. So now he's looking and ends up going back to a world he lived in when he like an illegal cage fighter to help support his family. You've got Hell Bell, you've got Lady Lark. It's just wonderful. It's wonderful. I mean, it's a whodunit. Great characters, and this one is illustrated by Teddy Christensen. Teddy's work is very distinctive. It's watercolor, and he's a very like expressive artist. It almost looks like thick pencil or like colored like crayon, like with his outlines. Like it's a it's a very indie, expressive, wispy sort of flowy illustration style. I think it really works for this book. I think it really works for Lemire's ethos. Like it kind of fits into the kind of art that it doesn't look like Jeff drew it, but it looks like it belongs in a school of people that draw like Jeff, if you know what I mean. Like it's all kind of the same like vibe, which I think makes it feel really suitable for this. And I believe they have another book coming out together as well. No, it was awesome, man. It was awesome. It's great to I hope Jeff does Black Hammer books until he dies. I think it's all great. I'd love to read a Black Hammer story that I haven't enjoyed. So check out Black Hammer Spiral City if you haven't already.
Nice.
Was he at the retreat? Fleecs?
Jeff. Oh, sorry. He was not at the retreat. He's working on he's working. I think it's announced what he's working on, right? You guys know?
Firestorm.
Yeah, Firestorm.
Yeah, but he was not there. That's just a bummer because I would that guy has a million good ideas. I would have loved to hear what he was up to. Hear what he had to say.
For sure, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely felt like
he'll be Heroes. He's the Hero special guest this year.
Oh hell yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, haven't seen him in years.
Yeah, I'm very excited to hang out at Heroes. That's going to be a fun show. I think. Yeah. I can't wait to see how that all goes down. We'll definitely get dinner. We'll hang out. We'll get barbecue and stuff. That diner moved, right?
Yeah,
it did, but it's still in the rotation though.
Okay, good.
But yeah, plenty of good places to eat in Charlotte. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Top Chef.
A couple places that we ate at that are no longer in the rotation. So yeah, we always got something to find.
Oh yeah, well we were at a place, dude, and
thought the cockroach was going to trip the waitress.
It's like a 14-foot roach that just like, I'm good, dude. I'm peace. And
we were there the year before, and it was slamming. But yeah, that's right. We got hawkers. We got plenty of good shit to eat. We're good.
Is there a restaurant you go to on the regular where if it had a cockroach like that you'd be like, I'm gonna forgive them. I'm gonna let it pass?
No, that's never. There's not zero. There really isn't. Like seriously, zero. No, there's not. It could be my favorite restaurant ever that I go to every week.
And you'd have to shut them out.
Oh yeah, bro. I've said like if I see a roach in this house, I want to burn the house down. Are you kidding me?
I mean, listen. I grew up in an apartment building in Yonkers. I've woken up next to fucking roaches. Yes, they don't. I don't want to see them, and I don't want them around my fucking food. But I'm not. Now, silverfish. Fuck yeah, then you can burn the whole goddamn place down. I don't fucks with a goddamn silverfish. I can't stand that shit.
No, honestly, it's completely irrational. But if I see one, can't no, I can't have it. I can't have it.
Silverfish seems like a fantasy creation. Like
it's they're so fucking freaky, man. Holy shit.
We get these gigantic millipedes in there.
Oh, that's freaky too. I can't. Yeah, anything that like just kind of curls with his body. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Fortunately, they I think like when they get inside the house, they die quickly and they like curl.
Yeah.
Like spiral, like Uzumaki spiral, and you just grab a paper towel and grab it, throw it away. But they're relatively frequent, I have to say, in the house, in the basement.
In the house, we get nothing pretty much. Well, sometimes ants in the summertime, but in the studio, because it's like in the garden in the back, it gets crickets sometimes. And I'm okay with them.
Yeah, we get the like cave crickets, they're called. Yeah, I mean, we pay an ungodly fortune to exterminators to like treat and kill all kinds of things.
Keep it pristine. Keep them roaches out.
Oh, bro, there's no roaches ever. Yeah, I'm probably cutting chemical, but I'm like, nah, it's not. I'd rather die at 70 than 80 as long as I keep the roaches in my house.
You live at 70 3 years.
That's right.
Oh yeah, for sure. But no, like we have mice all the time. Like we have, I mean. Like when the pest control comes, like they do outside and then come inside, and like they generally, because there's traps all over it, like they generally take like 10 to 15 mice out every time they come.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah.
You're providing a service, the whole neighborhood can live inside your walls.
Well, listen, I mean, it's a relatively large square footage house, and it's in the middle of a forest, so it's hard to not have animals.
Exactly. It's just the three of you guys in there right now. 4? How many are in there?
Just three.
Dogs.
Two dogs. Yeah. Two dogs
more.
and 3 humans. Yeah.
Well, boys, this has been a treat. Thank you so much for having me. I was happy to come on. I'm glad you guys liked.
Yeah.
Feel free to.
Mazel tov. I hope all the sites give the 9s and the 9.5s tomorrow next week for Deathstroke, and I'm sure they'll all give 10s to the Feral once they see what happens in it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how all that stuff goes down. This is an exciting time. It's weird because I haven't launched a book in a while, so this launching Deathstroke and then having a big Feral come out the week after feels like that when Feral and Uncanny Valley were coming out a month apart from each other.
For sure. What podcast are you doing next week? I'm sure you've got a couple.
Next week, you mean in an hour?
I definitely have some booked up. I don't know what they are. Literally, somebody was asking. Pornsack emailed me today or texted and was like, "How do you pick which podcast you go on?" And I was like, "Pick." They just email me, and I say, yes,
"It's like I'm a whore. I just fuck yeah, I'll be there."
Now, see, if you were a true friend, you'd say, "Well, you should definitely go on 11."
Yes.
Well, I will tell him. I'm going to dinner with him tonight, so I'll tell him.
Fucking tell him. Yeah, tell him we'd love to have him on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And next time you're hanging out with Mark Wade, you can remind him that he still needs.
I
to
will do that
show.
too. As a matter of fact, I often tell people that if you want to do like a substantive interview podcast to do off panel, but if you would like to also do a second interview podcast,
that was smooth. I knew that was coming.
Sorry,
if you just want to shoot the shit with a couple of drunks, then yeah, go do 11.
I will say that like Harper is super like meticulous, like he like in the sense that like because he does one episode a week.
Yep.
Every week, and I mean, obviously we've never missed a week either. But I'm saying, but like he just like, but like he always, I mean, as he's interview only, so it's like structuring that has to be non-trivial because he has to have an episode. Like, and I realize I'm sure he stages them and has some on the camp, but I mean, it's like one a week, and like if you've listened to him long enough, like there are a lot. It is like there's a lot of like repeats, right? Like in the sense that like Brandon Burpee always comes on to the Year in the End, and he always. Heidi on from the beat, and
Heidi.
He has Christina on once a year. He'll have Patrick Brower on once a year.
Yeah, he's got his regs.
Yeah,
that's what I got to get.
I think one of his regs probably won't be on anymore. But
what do I miss? Well, after we go off the air, I'd like to hear about that.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
Dap can let us know when we're off the air.
Nice. Yes. So thank you, everybody. I look forward to just seeing Tony at night at Heroes because he'll have lines of people waiting to sign copies of Deathstroke and the new Feral arc. So that's all we have for this week. Thank you all. We will be back next week. I'm not sure when the boat docks, so hopefully Vince will be back next week. But either way, we'll make do. Love you all. Talk to you all in 1026. Later.
That's it for that one.